nothing, nothing. Hey, baby, I see you. How you doing? How you doing? I'm not big. Let me get big. Okay, I'm big now. Hi, baby. Yes, I'm hot. I forgot my fan. Can you get my fan? Can't do that for me right now, can you? Okay, let me go get my fan. Ain't nobody in here. It's just my babies in here. So I think I can run and get my fan. Okay. Nobody's here yet. Okay. That's what I get for taking a day off. Or was it two? Yeah, I think, yeah, just one. It was just yesterday. Ooh, wee. Hi, Fonda. I'm doing great. How are you, my love? Hi, Ann. Hot as grease again. Oh, my goodness. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me put up my music. I always seem to forget something. Okay. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Barbara. How y'all doing? It is hot again. Hi, Kathy Mitchell. Ooh, wee. I think I'm gonna let my hair grow out a little bit because it's thinning out and it doesn't look as good when it's short. Hi, Desire. How are you, sweetie? Let me get my little notes together. You know I'm geriatric like that. Ooh, wee. Me and this internet, we don't get along sometimes. I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful, Barbara. I hope you guys had a good Labor Day. Had a wonderful had an extra day off. I cherish those days now. I did a few things around the house, and y'all like my new background. I had to get it together. Here we go with the sirens. It was great, Desire. Yes, it looks good short. I'm used to. I know you are. Hi, LaWanda. How's everybody? We doing good, LaWanda. Oh boy. I need to fix this camera somehow. It ain't acting right. I'll fix it later. Hey, Camille. Hi, Urban. Hello, sweetie. Ooh, wee. Hi, Pamela. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Pamela, who passed away. How, wait, very special people? Barbara says, I cut my hair off about a year and a half ago. It's growing back so slow. I can barely get a little ponytail. Child, consider it a blessing. Because, honey, hair nowadays is whew, hot. I can't do a ponytail. I ain't got enough hair to even do that. Not even a nugget. But shoot, I shaved my sides off. I shaved them sides off because shoot. Hey, Yolanda. Oh, hold on just a second. I had to turn this off for a second. I need to reposition this camera. And I'm wondering if I should just leave it alone. I think I better leave it alone. Yolanda, you ain't missed a thing. LaWanda said the itty bitty hair committee. It is the best thing in the world to have short hair. You just get up in the morning and boom, 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 and I'm done. Oh, Pamela. A girlfriend of 40 years and a young man I call nephew. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, hon. Hello, Nadine. I think it's age and the medication I take. I was shaving my back every month at my hair appointment. What? I was shaving my back every month at my hair appointment. Really? Back shaving. Maybe that's what I need to do. Shave some back. My hair don't grow nowhere. You know, all that. Oh. Well, you are definitely in my prayers, Pamela. You lost two people. That's the back of your hair. Child, I'm glad you cleared that up, Barbara. I thought you meant your back. Your back. Okay, am I in the middle? Okay, yeah, I'm in the middle. I got my little setup now. Got my little lights and, tried to make it look decent. You're sitting on your hair, Kathy. It's that long. Barbara said, not my actual back. I'm glad you cleared that up. Earring fell all out my ear. Let me take the other one out. They get on my nerves anyway. These holes are so big now. Oh, thank you, Fonda. Fonda's a new member today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. New membership. Hey, Retretta. Let me put Fonda up on the screen. Fonda is a new YouTube member to Auntie Mickey's kinfolk. But you've always still been kinfolk here. Who you calling a white girl? I know, huh, Retretta? Then I got tired of coloring it about 6 months ago and just accepted my gray. Child, I hear you. Hi, Daphne. Hi, G Money. Where is Charles Spears? That's a good question. I have not seen him in so long. I'm ready. Daphne. I am so ready. But you know what? These earrings, the holes are so huge from these babies over the years, pulling on my earrings, and they done pulled the hole is huge, where the earring don't even hardly want to stay in. Discerning 8, she hasn't been feeling well, And I think she's got some other things going on, um, activities at home, you know, personal things going on. She's fine. She hadn't been feeling well for a minute, but then she was busy with some other business. But she'll be back. She'll be back. Now, Charles, that's another story. I talked to Jess yesterday. Actually, she texted me. She was in Portland. I know, 9 more days. I'm going to be 63. Oh my God. Another birthday, God willing. 63. Thank you, Retretta. I said I need to do a little something pretty, you know. Thank you. You should have seen me trying to drill the holes. What you going to do at 63? I'm going to be grateful I made it. Hey, Marcella. How are you, sweetie? Yes, LaWanda, I'm going to be grateful I made it. Some folk didn't make it. I'm catching up to you, Barbara. Yes, we can have a party. Yes, we gonna have a party. Yolanda just had a birthday too. So yeah, we gonna have a party. We gonna have a Virgo party. Hallelujah. That's what one of the babies used to say that I used to watch on a regular basis. Hallelujah. I said, well, at least his mama teaching him about the Lord. Oh, goodness. Let me pull this down. Thank you, Marzella. $20 super sticker. Thank you, Fonda, for the $2 super sticker. Thank you. Hello. It's Auntie. It's Earth Angel. Hello. I'm doing wonderful, Yolanda. Party like it's your birthday. And wait a minute. My wedding anniversary is, what is today, the 2nd? Here's my explanation. We got married, physically got married on the 4th of September, but it wasn't legal until the 5th. Because you know, up here, you got to wait a few days before your license is good. And we went to church one Sunday with our license in hand. It was on a Sunday morning, and I came down out the choir stand, and Barry came off the deacon board bench, and we stood in front of the church right after the sermon and got married right there. Pastor married us right there at church. No big hoopla, no none of that. And that was back in 1988. Hey, Rose. How's it going, love? 1988. We got married. Physically September 4th, legally September 5th. So we just kind of celebrate both days. So I have my birthday on the 4th, birthday's on the 11th, anniversary's on the 4th and 5th. So back-to-back weeks of celebration. Yeah. So yeah, my husband took me out on Saturday. I think it was Saturday. We just decided to go for a ride, but he didn't tell me. Hi, down South Stitcher. Hello, my love. We went on a ride. We went for a drive. We were going to go ride by the ocean because it's his last weekend off. To become a member, you have to hit that join button. Bring that caramel cake, G Money. I'm down for it. Oh no, no, no babies on the button. I ain't making none, nor am I watching none. But Yolanda, to become a member, if you go, it depends on if you are on a device or if you're on a computer. But you have to go to the channel, and there should be a join button on there, especially if you're on your phone. It's easy to find on your phone. Just saying it. Oh, that would be wonderful, Retretta. Dang. I wish we all did live close. Okay, Yolanda, if you're on your iPhone, there should be a black join button. I'm not familiar with, let me see if I can find out. I'm going to go pretend like I'm going to go to somebody else's. Okay, so let's see. The first live that popped up was King Pain. Let me turn this down. Let me get out of this. Okay, yeah, I hit the like button. Okay. Okay, so let's see if I hit more. I'm not sure. How does that? I do not understand. If you hit more, it should be in here somehow. I'm not sure. Can anybody help Yolanda join? I can't figure it out. I'm on my phone and I can't find a join button. But normally they say if you just go to the join button, you should be able to do it. But this is weird. They make it so difficult. They make it so difficult. I know I've joined before on other channels, and it was from my television. And even then it was hard to figure it out. We're gonna figure this out though. In the meantime, let me get out of his live. I'm on my own right now. Oh, okay. Thank you, Fonda. It's right next to the bell. I didn't see one next to my bell. Oh, okay. All I can recommend is maybe Googling it or something. It seemed like everybody has a different steps they have to take. Makes me mad because I be ready to join stuff and can't. Oh, good. You figured it out. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But, I was going to try to finish telling y'all what happened Saturday. Uncle, he's always surprising me with stuff, right? So we went on a little ride, and we way out. And what is that? You know, I be watching people that come through this cul-de-sac. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Hi, Cassie. Hello, love. Thank you. Thank you. Well, what happened was he took me for a ride and we pulled into a Lexus lot. And I'll tell y'all later about the other Lexus. The other Lexus got hit. You sure can, Fonda. All the members can listen. It's all members only. Okay, Retreader, when I hit the bell, you know what I got? Unsubscribe. There was no join or anything. But anyway, pulled into this lot and I'm just sitting there because I'm thinking he's talking to this man about doing something about our car that got hit. And the insurance paid us out. But there's nothing. I mean, the car still runs beautifully. It's just a tiny little dent in the door jamb. Hi, Catherine. And I turned around and he's calling my name. And he says, "Come here for a minute, come here for a minute." And I get out the car and he's standing next to this big red Lexus SUV. He said, "Happy anniversary, happy birthday." And I just broke down. Oh my God, I just broke down and cried. But that was the end of that because they wanted too much money. They wanted way too much money per month. I'm like, no, baby. We ain't going into debt. No, I can't stand car notes anyway. I said that I appreciate the gesture. I appreciate it. But that's going to have to be a hard no. What to do to get the book, Auntie? The book is in, it's on my channel. It's members only. It's 16 chapters. Chapter 1, 2, 3 through 16. And I read it. It's a video book. Hi, Kendra. So yeah, y'all don't have to pay for it. It's all members have full access to my book. And you listen at your leisure. Ooh, Urban, I wish I could say that. I was so happy to pay off my Flex. I had a Ford Flex. And I finally paid that thing off. And then my son borrowed my Flex to take his basketball team around. Got in a wreck. But I'm glad we still have a car. Oh, thank you, Down South Stitcher. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thinking about doing a part 2. Because that book ends when Obama was elected. Yes, Urban, I'm down with that too. Tell them we had a deal. They changed the. You tell them. You in the chat. Uncle says tell them we had a deal. They changed the numbers. I was approved at 425, and Gap Insurance was. Oh, for Gap Insurance, it was 525. They went up on that monthly payment to $758 a month. Oh, no. For 2014, no. That'll be a no. Too bad, so sad. They go to the channel and hit the bell or tap the word more. One or the other. Play around with buttons. Some phones may differ. I have an Android. Okay. You have a Lexus, G Money? Man, Lexus, you can't go wrong with a Lexus. I thought it was a 2014, babe. So it was a 17 still. Hi, Carol Curry. That's still a lot of money. $758. That's a brand new car note. Not no 207 2017. Yes, I man, you can't beat a Lexus. I mean all the other we done had practically every car under the sun for the exception of a Beamer and a Porsche. We done had Cadillacs, Lincolns, Jaguars, Lexus, oh God, Ford this, Toyota that. We done had so many, Mazda. Our first car was a Grand Am. Dang. Our son hit the building. Any word info on the cruise? Oh yes, we have some information that we need to discuss on the cruise. I only like vans or Jeeps. I love SUVs. Yes, Lexus is made by Toyota. They sure are. Lexuses have never let me down. Never. But yeah, we do need to talk about this cruise. That's what I said. I said Granville. Our first car was a Granville. And then we had, I don't even remember all the other ones after that. We done had about 40 cars. Okay, Fonda. Okay. I saw a video that I wanted to share with you guys about this, about the top 15 things to know when going on a cruise. We have to educate ourselves first before we start making arrangements. Because they got some rules I didn't know about. Make me kind of think twice. That's scary too. Because some of these rules, people are breaking these rules and don't even know it. And they can end up being kicked off the boat. You have to fend for themselves to get home. Oh, you graduated to a Jeep, Barbara? Jeeps are good too. My youngest son had a Jeep. Both of my sons had Jeeps. Yes, you are, Urban. Yes. Let me put the link in the chat, you guys. Urban wants to come up and talk to us for a moment, if you don't mind. The Magnificent got that Cadillac. Yes, I done had a couple of them, a few of them. Shoot. I loved my Lexus ran so, yes. Lexuses run so nice. Here, let me paste the link. Okay, Urban, there's the link. Let me turn down this music too. It's kind of loud. That's much better. I love any car without a link. Oh, honey, Barbara, I hope you win. 1.1 billion? Just a piece of that, I'd be happy. Me too, G Money. We've had some buckets in our day. We had one car that was toe up all on one side. It was bad. Oh, you mean a car note? Yes, I love any car without a car note too. But I have a husband that don't. He wants his cars, and he gonna pay for them cars. Yeah, I hear you. I just can't. Ooh, I don't mind, but after a while of car notes for so long, you just, phew, I won 2 tickets from Saturday's draw. Good. Good, Barbara. Hi, Lady Letitia. How are you, sweetie? Uh-oh, Urban, you're not connected yet. I had to leave your chat earlier because I got a phone call and it was kind of urgent. Okay, here we go. Urban.
It's like
Hello.
connection.
Okay, I got you now. I see you.
Okay. Hello, Auntie.
Hi, baby girl.
All right. Hello, everyone in the chat. All right. So, okay. It was lagging a little bit on my end. Now it's better.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Hope everybody is well. I'm Lacey today, Auntie. I look plain Jane for sure.
Wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hold on just a second before you start. Um, doing another live right now. Oh, you doing a live right now too, lady? Okay. Okay. Well, probably you'll probably still be going by the time I'm done. So if you're still going, I'll jump on. Okay. Hi,
It
Cl-
must be my end because you sound lagging.
can you hear me?
Yes, but it's Borgin to me.
How is that?
The chat probably be clear. Yeah.
Okay, what you
Right.
may want to do. Hey, did you turn down your YouTube video, your YouTube volume?
I'm not in YouTube. I'm just straight on the phone through the StreamYard.
Okay, but when you entered, were you in my live originally from YouTube? I mean,
No,
oh,
no, I
okay,
never used you. Well, I mean, I was, but no, I had to get out of that to get to the link. So it
okay,
automatically takes me out.
right. Well, when it
Okay.
does that, sometimes it'll still keep your volume what it was before you jumped into StreamYard.
Oh, maybe that's it.
So
Okay.
if you jump back over to YouTube, you'll see that you're still in YouTube, but you just mute your
Okay. I
YouTube.
don't have no way of doing. Let me see. Unless I go to my history on the
Do you
phone, it
no
might take me out. Hold on.
no, don't worry about it. Am I echoing?
Okay. Uh-oh. Am I still on? Okay.
Yes, on.
What anyway, it's
Go
clearing
ahead.
up.
Okay, sweetheart.
Better. That probably was my internet
Okay.
fading in and out. Okay. So if you want to, just speak introduction of what I'm gonna talk about or just me get
Well,
straight into it.
I would prefer that you go ahead and explain what you're going to explain because I don't want to miss anything. Um, Urban is here to present something very special to you guys. It's a is this a business proposition? Is this what this is, Urban?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So everyone that has already subscribed to my channel and that has been following the videos and the little shorts and things of that sort. I'm a business owner of several entities. You
Mm-hmm.
know, life happens back and forth, things like that. But I am reinventing uh, and rebranding one of my businesses, which, well, actually two, which is real estate investing and trucking dispatching. So, what we're promoting right now, and I said we because I am building a team. We are promoting, showing you how to come into real estate investing with little of or no money. And you probably heard those terms before, but I just want to give you a quick little rundown of history for me when I started back about, I would say, 8 years ago. and I heard the same terms, of, well, you don't need to have any money to get started. And I just thought it was just a myth, to get people going, and just to buy a course or come to a seminar and then they sell you on the course. But mine didn't start that way. I actually started in another platform. I don't know if we can mention other platforms over here, like not people names of chats or like here. But I'm talking about saying like, you understand? Oh, that Auntie leave for a minute, but I hope I can say it. But I started in the groups of the other platforms. The initials are FB. If you can follow along, I cannot see the chat while I'm talking with you. I think, yeah, no, I cannot. Oh, wait, I just found the way to get the comments. Hold up. Oh,
You
wait,
got?
it went away. Ah,
Did you click on the comments side?
yes, I clicked on the comments. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I can see the comments now.
Hey,
Yeah.
good.
So, oh, I'll have to keep it up. So, when I went into the chats on the FB, you all figured the initials out. I went into the group. Those groups are real estate investing. And so I start looking around and putting pieces together and trying to figure out, okay, the the things were the who we know is the real estate investing. I mean the what and the who is the buyer and the seller. So I'm not going to get all into it like this on the platform, but I'm just trying to show you around that it is possible. So my first step in starting with that was doing wholesaling. There's a term called wholesaling. There's three ways to uh, be in be an investor. Okay,
Hmm.
so you can wholesale properties, fix and flip, or buy and hold. So what I'm doing is I'm doing real estate classes, but along with the real estate classes, before you get to the class, I do the consulting with you to see where you are. Everybody have different streams or income brackets or scenarios. So I fit you where it fits you. And I don't walk away after the class. Once you do the 30-minute call on the consultant side, um, then you'll be placed in the class where it's suitable for you. The classes are 3 days, and it is going to be like 2.5 to 3 hours. I'm not giving it precise to say exactly. I want to say 3 hours, but in that 3 hours, it's going to be the breaks are going to be like 15-minute breaks. We are going to need breaks. Then 15 minutes again. It's going to be live on the webinar. It's not going to be like a recording. You're going to actually see me live on the webinar, instructing and answering any questions. So, anyone of any age, we can always advance, And so, this is where I'm at right now, showing, everyone that's willing, to make a change and whatever situation. It don't really have to be that you having a bad situation. You can just want to elevate. That's
Hmm.
it, and the key is creating generational wealth. Now, I do have a link. Um, I did send over Auntie, but my phone, I've been doing so much over here where my storage, and I've been trying to clear as much as I can, but you're still in the queue to send the video
Oh,
over. But
okay.
I'm going to do my best to send the video get the video so you can get it. If you will get it, but I'm trying to still post the video on my page
Uh-huh.
as well. So if I'm asking everyone, and I'm still short of 16 people to go live over here. I've
Hmm.
been going live on another platform, the TT platform, and
Uh-huh.
I've been really busy over there and interacting and been engaged. And so I want to be able to do that over here. And
Okay.
so if we can get anyone that has not subscribed over here, would you possibly subscribe? And so we can interact. And I will put the link. I did copy the link. So I will put the link in. Now, if I hit join the chat, would that take me out? Because I wanted to copy the link.
You should be able to put it in the chat, even though
Oh,
you're up
okay.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it says comment to connect. Okay, okay, connect. Uh-oh. Am I on?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it took me out. Okay.
No, you're here. You're here.
Okay. It's different when you're on the phone trying to
Yeah.
navigate on the StreamYard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to give it permission. It says I'm
Right.
signing back into it. So if you see me back in the back chat, that's what's happening.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yes.
I
So
see you here. And I
right.
hear
I'll
you.
okay, thank you. I'll put the link there
Uh-huh. And if
and
not,
also
another
go to my
another
community
thing, yeah,
page. You'll
I was gonna
see
say put it on a community
as
page
well.
too. Mhm.
Okay. Yes. Say that again, please.
I was gonna say what you just said. If all else fails, put it in your community post for everybody to see.
Correct.
Yeah, there it is.
Right,
I
right.
see it. I see it. It's in the chat.
Oh, what do you see?
It says new to streaming or looking to level up. Check out StreamYard and get $10 discount. And then there's an
Oh,
HTTPS.
I didn't do that, Auntie. I didn't
Oh,
do that. StreamYard must have did that when I
oh, okay. I think that's something else. That's something else.
right,
So, yeah, you have to copy and paste the actual link that you want to put it in
right.
the chat. So, maybe
Yes.
actually
Oh, I
do
do want
that.
to let you know. Oh, sorry. I do want to let you know, everyone, that their consultant is not free. So I'm looking at the chat. There's a paid consultant fee that is a part one of your training, and part two is the class to sign up after the consultant part
Mhm.
of it. You'll pick your date of the class. And so I'm also setting it up where I have a website that's being built right now, but I'm using other forms right now to get people at least to the consultant
Okay.
side. And I'm setting along with the website so we can have other sites that it's like Afterpay and PayPal, bill me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Buy, bill now, pay later,
Right.
So I'm setting that method up
Hmm.
as well. So
Okay.
anyone that, is able to get going with the classes and your your money finding, let's keep it real. You understand? So I'm doing it for every income bracket, you
Oh,
know. And so
oh,
that's what makes it great. And I'm not, you know, banging people in the head for where you see I'm not bashing any other classes or that's out there, but I'm talking about, they really go up, up, up. I'm
yeah.
just still making it, in the perspective of the time that it puts effort into doing this, still making it. in an affordable way.
Okay. All
And
right. Well,
thank
yeah,
you.
no problem. Go ahead and put that link on your community post, and if I receive the link before the end of this show, I will also put it up in the chat as well. I have
Okay,
received it
and
from.
explain, sorry, Auntie, explain about the code. Now, everybody that's over here, I will not like just take you um without knowing. I wouldn't have a way of knowing you. We have a code, Auntie,
Mhm.
that we use, and you have to let me know in the notes when you're booking that your code is Auntie, so that way I know that you was referred through Auntie.
All right. So yes, the code is capital AUNTIE, auntie. If you decide to take this training and you sign up for it, there will be somewhere to input your special code, and everyone that is part of the kinfolk family will use the auntie code.
Right,
That way she will know that it is a referral from this particular platform.
exactly, and I can discount it accordingly.
Hmm.
Okay,
Well, I
thank you.
appreciate you coming forward and sharing that information with us. And
Yes, is anybody hitting up my channel to help me go live? I need what, 14? Well, I'm at 34. I need 14 more. That would be appreciated, please.
okay, sweetheart. Actually, it's going to be 16.
Oh,
Six.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all. And I'm getting back in the chat.
Okay, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay. Bye bye. I mean,
Okay,
down later in the
see
chat.
you in a bit. Okay. All right, everybody. So, now that we have gone through that business, um, what is this? I wanted to talk about a couple of issues today. One, I don't normally talk a lot of politics, but this seems to be a topic that needs to be addressed. Hi, Michelle. How are you, sweetheart? So, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news, the legacy news as they call it now. But our president seems to have a problem, as we all know. We know he's got a problem anyway. But does he seem to be a little off to you guys, more so than normal? I mean, Trump has been off for many, many years, but his health seems to be declining. Hello, Diane. How are you, sweetie? Put a one in the chat if you've noticed a significant change in his appearance. Put a one in the chat if you've noticed a significant change in our president's appearance. It's becoming a trending topic of discussion here on YouTube and all over other social media platforms. Yes, early stages of dementia is one of a few issues, allegedly. I'm going to just say it allegedly because that man ain't going to fess up to nothing. Remember when he was president the first time? Exactly, Michelle. Now he gave Biden all kind of flack about him not being completely cognizant of everything, stumbling over words and whatnot. Hi, Live Chronicles. Hello, my love. And I just thought that it was very ironic, very, very ironic, that here we are with a new Trump presidency, and he's doing more than the most. But in addition to that, just looking at him, you can tell something's not right. Something's not right. Definitely in denial, Carol. Definitely in denial. There's been pictures, snapshots of, zoomed into his hand with that big bruise on it. Uh, Pictures of his ankles all swole up. Yeah, me too. Me too, Barbara. But I've been paying attention to his health issues. Thank you, Urban. You guys, Urban put that link in the chat for you. Hi, QT. Hello, sweetie. Crinkles. Crinkles. But I saw another take on his issues, and it's possible that he could be suffering from, uh, what do they call it? Congenial heart failure or something like that. Something about heart failure. He been swallowed up. But I was checking. I was looking around at different other people that were speaking on this issue, and not just any old body speaking on it, but just different congestive. Thank you, Lawanda. Yes, remember when he was president before, and he had that one doctor that came out and said, "This has been the healthiest, healthiest president we've ever had in the history of the United States," which is a bald-faced lie. Yes, he's gained a lot of weight, but he's also lost a lot of weight in his face. If you look at his face, he's using extra makeup to keep that orange glow. And wait a minute, keep it until Halloween. We can call him our pumpkin president. But he's also been using makeup to cover up that bruise on his hand. So it's causing concern with a lot of people, prominent people. And, I figured a lot of people aren't really watching. Yes, Fonda. Yes. I don't, now, before I say the word, last time I said that word, I was accused of making fun of them people. So let me just put a disclaimer out. I'm about to say a word or two words. I am no under any circumstances making fun or knocking people with Down syndrome. All I'm saying is that he has a look about him that reminds me of one who looks like they may have Down syndrome. This is not a knock, although some people out there, especially over there in Canada, and their subscribers may have a problem with me saying something like that, and they can kiss my entire ass right about now. Yes, Barbara, and I'm thinking the same thing. You know, he may not make it. You know, the question has been put out there publicly. Is our president dying? There was a rumor just a few days ago that he was dead, which will be my segue into this first video. I'm going to turn my music down so you can hear this young man. But I thought it was very, very notable. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's see. Okay, now let me put this over here. I had to make myself little so you guys can see this. Simpsons did. Oh, wait. Yes, I remember back when in his first term, the Simpsons did. Oh, that's right. Well, it's a shame when a cartoon can predict stuff like that. That's crazy. That's crazy. But this young man brought up some information that I thought might be interesting. Let me see. Add him to the stage here.
We are now on day 7 of the President of the United States not having done a single on-camera interview, not speaking a single time, raising suspicions not only among the opposition party, but even among people within his own party. People who voted for him were saying, where is the president? Now, of course, this photo on screen was taken on Labor Day morning, just yesterday, and we've seen a pattern of photos of Trump looking quite old and sickly and demented. His Truth Social posts haven't struck the normal tone. They haven't been quite as deranged. They've just been toned down and sparse. A Truth Social post every once in a while. So the question then becomes, what is going on with Donald Trump? And I really don't want to speculate much throughout this video. I just want to use the cold hard facts, the photos that we have and the videos that we don't have. The lack of videos from the president, who we know loves to be on camera. This reads, still not a single verifiable video or picture of Trump playing golf these last 2 days. And he hasn't said a word to a camera in almost a week.
Now, isn't that something when you think about it? When has President Trump ever steered clear of the media? He almost reminds me of Tamar. He's an attention whore. Every chance he gets, he is in front of a camera. And he's been doing the most lately. It's almost like he's doing stuff because he's in a hurry to get a whole lot of stuff done before he checks out. And I hate to put it like, ooh, did I break my nail when I did that? I snapped and broke my nail. Oh, well. I'll fix it. But you see what I'm saying? He's usually out there playing. Exactly, Kathy, out there playing golf, or out there being seen. They say he doesn't take vacations. And I'm like, his life is a vacation. I don't know too many people that can go and do whatever they want to do when they want to do it. But he's been doing the most, especially with all of this activity in DC with the National Guard and trying to bring people in, bring the military into Chicago and Los Angeles and New York, all these democratic cities that he's trying to take over. And it's illegal. Legally, he's not even able to, he's not really supposed to be able to do this. But he's taking some really critical steps, excuse me, as if he's in a hurry to do a bunch of stuff before he checks out. I just wanted to make note of that.
Which is literally a record for him. All the while, Trump Social pushing out old pictures in weird, totally not Trump written posts. That's the thing. The Trump Truth Social account has posted 2 or 3 photos of him golfing because he's supposed to be on the golf course. But the photos could be tracked back to weeks ago, sometimes even months ago. And, there is a potential that Trump is on the golf course, but the photos that they're posting are certainly not current. So it just really leads to the question again, what happened to him? This thread that we're going to read in one moment reads, more proof of a Trump health cover-up. Trump leaves White House again this morning, mouth agape. This was written on Labor Day, by the way, so yesterday. Not allowed to speak with reporters. Then it gets weirder, like full-on AI gaslighting weirder. Before we jump into that, can I just show you what the opposition party, what the Democrats are doing on Labor Day? Governor Gavin Newsom says, Happy Labor Day to all, including the scum that's trying to destroy our country with a sick, warped, radical mind, killing small businesses with crazy tariffs, taking health care from children, pardoning January 6th thugs, sending the private army to arrest grandma, wrecking our beautiful environment, defunding our schools, and destabilizing long-standing international relationships. This is the type of rhetoric I can get behind. Governor Gavin Newsom then says, hopefully the United States Supreme Court and other good and compassionate judges throughout the land will save us from the decisions of the monsters who want our country to go to hell. But fear not, we have made great progress in recent weeks, and America will soon be safe and great again. The crazy thing is, Republicans have been calling this radical rhetoric all week, and they're going to continue to look at messages like this and not see the irony.
Brenda Gordon, you are absolutely right. They're using Trump for their agenda to bring in a new world order. A new world order. Ain't that biblical? It's of biblical proportions. Fonda says, he's like a child trying to do whatever he can. Truth is, he can't do nothing, and people that voted him in office again are mad. Absolutely, Fonda. His own people are pissed off. Now, when you got MAGA mad at you, you done something. All of the things that he campaigned on, he's turned right around and done the opposite. Case in point, the Epstein files. He campaigned on them Epstein files, the Martin Luther King files, the JFK files. I'm going to open them all up for everybody to see. And he still hasn't done anything about Epstein. As a matter of fact, they lying as much as they can to cover that mess up, because we know he in that book. Truth be told, he is in that book. Now, when he released information on Martin Luther King's files, they were pretty much menial things that we already knew. The family didn't even want them released. And JFK, what have we heard about JFK? Retretta says, Auntie, I don't understand this conversation too much. We need to pray for Donald Trump. There are things happening behind the scenes that we don't see. I have a little idea of what's going on. Okay. Well, part of the problem is that the man's not well. Exactly, Barbara. Exactly. He's ushering in the Antichrist.
Republican pundits on Fox News, Republican voters look at this and say, wow, Democrats are so incredibly divisive, without seeing the pure irony. You know, it's really interesting because, as Aaron Rupar points out, I want to play this video in 1 second. As Aaron Rupar points out, it's very conspicuous rewatching this. This is a clip from late August 22nd. Trump is desperately trying to hide the back of his right hand from the camera in this clip. Honestly, I'm going to play the audio, but what he's saying in this clip isn't quite important. Just notice the mannerisms and the hiding of his hands. Take a listen.
If you're here in Seattle and still have that old busted fence, or maybe you're just tired of having zero privacy.
Sorry about
project to make it, it'll be great. It'll be.
Look at his face. Look at his face. His eyes are almost closed. Absolutely, Retretta. If they open up them Epstein files, but see, you see they doing everything they can to get out of doing that. Even as much as having, what's that chick, Jazine? Whatever her name is, that was with Epstein. They done convince her to lie and say that Oh, there's no Epstein files or his name ain't in it or whatever. She's doing exactly what they telling her to do and telling her to say, all in exchange to get out of maximum security. Giselle, thank you. I know there's an S in there. When you say Giselle, I think of Giselle from what's that? Housewives of Potomac, the one that was married to Jamal. Yeah, Trump says Epstein is a hoax, but was that plane he was riding on a hoax? No, wasn't nothing hoaxy about that plane that Trump was flying on.
Fantastic. You see the way this is looking? Look,
Was
this.
that
I can't tell you how much that gold costs. A lot of money. There's nothing like gold, and there's nothing like solid gold. But this beautiful office needed it. It had to be.
I swear, this dude is trying extra hard. And listen, it's like when I got a tattoo that I was trying to hide from my mom, you know? Like I'm chilling with my mom and I'm just like stretching, you know, I have my hand out. I'm like, no, there's nothing there. But Donald Trump has been doing this meeting after meeting, and then he just decided not to do meetings on camera anymore. This reads, consider just how bad of a shape Trump would have to be in for his administration that has no problem lying about absolutely everything to be too terrified to let cameras anywhere near him. Let me just say one more time. I'm currently just reading the public discourse about this and just asking questions. I find it all weird. I'm not making any declarative statements that are speculating on what's happening. I'm just saying we find this weird. The photos that we're getting are weird. The thread that I'm about to read is weird. The clip that I just played is weird. That's all that I'm saying. Andrew then points out, if you can't appear before cameras, you can't be the president of the United States. And you know, the interesting thing is, I don't even care about the president's health. I mean, I do, but I just care about it insofar as I care about their ability to serve the American public. So even if Donald Trump were fully healthy, he wasn't really serving the American public. But the worry that I have is not a personal deep concern for Trump. I mean, I don't want anybody to suffer. I would never want anybody to suffer from health issues, full stop. But the concern that I have is that there are all these issues, many of them, most of them created by Donald Trump, that need to be solved, like the tariff war, the literal tariff war that we are in with every single country on the planet except for Russia and North Korea.
Hey, Beverly, how are you, love? Hi, Jess. How are you, sweetheart? Let me read what Retretta put up here. Retretta says all kind of spirits came over to America illegally. Do you all know anything about Haitians and their voodoo rituals? That's the bad news that no one is looking at. And you see what he said about it when they started talking about they're eating the dogs and eating the cats and all that stuff. All of this stuff is tied into what he's doing. Oh, okay, Dawn. How are you, sweetheart? He says, my mom had her hip replaced today. Oh, bless her heart. Oh, man. Urban says, an age limit should be set. That's true, too, Urban. I mean, honestly, we keep getting these presidents. They're way up there in age. Way up there in age. And it's time for some newer people. I mean, some younger people. Hi, Black. Hello, Black. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, I mean, this stuff is no joke. This guy is definitely making moves that are very suspect, and they're more over the top. It's buffering for you really bad. I'm sorry, Black. You might want to see if you can exit and come back in. And let me start this.
We're for some reason in a tariff war with every single country, while Israel is bombing the hell out of Gaza. The hostages haven't been saved, so both sides just aren't happy. When it comes to Ukraine, They're being relentlessly bombed by Vladimir Putin, which is disgusting. Trump hasn't stopped that. Domestically, ICE is deporting grandmas while the economy is suffering, inflation is increasing, and the president does not seem capable of handling it. I think Governor Gavin Newsom would be capable of handling it. J.B. Pritzker would be capable of handling it. Anybody other than Donald Trump. But this reads, more proof of a Trump health cover-up. And, I wouldn't fully call it proof. I think this is supporting evidence, but it would be irresponsible for me to make any declarative statements or say this is proof. Trump did leave the White House yesterday morning on Labor Day, just mouth agape. The wild thing is, he left the day before that, mouth agape once more. Then it gets weirder. He once again goes golfing at his club, and reporters are confined to the tennis court area, not allowed to speak to Trump, and not allowed to see him golfing, which they normally can. He then posts this picture with his close friend and radio host, John Fredericks. After days of outdated pictures, remember, a lot of the pictures that we saw were outdated, we finally get something that seems current, but something is off. Other than the weird staging of the photo, we notice that Trump's eyes are barely open, especially his right eye, not really open at all. This would be consistent with someone recovering from a minor stroke or larger TIA who's recovering physically but not fully well yet. Now, that is getting into speculation that I am not even close to qualified to speculate on, so I'm not going to comment on that. But they say it's also a really odd smile for Trump. Just look at these two photos of him and look how sickly he looks in the right side photo right here. It's very, very odd, and I just want to loop this back to saying the President of the United States is not qualified or fit to take care of the numerous issues that the United States is facing, many of which that he created. Governor Gavin Newsom does lay it out well. The crazy tariffs that are going to ravage our economy, remember, they only went into effect on August 7th. Many people think this tariff regime has been in place for 7 months, but no. Trump delayed, and the tariffs, the Liberation Day tariffs, just went into effect. So it is going to ravage our economy at a time when healthcare is being taken away from children. Pardoning the January 6th thugs, this administration claims to want to fight crime in D.C. by mobilizing the National Guard, but they refused to mobilize the National Guard on January 6th. In fact, they pardoned the 1,600 criminals who raided the Capitol in D.C., many of which have died. I mean, literally like 6 January 6ers have died since they got pardoned because they're drug addicts or just bums or people who, one of them got killed by a cop because they just attacked a cop in Indiana. Wow. What are they doing? Also, sending the private army to arrest grandma, therefore ravaging our economy further and not protecting anybody. They're wrecking our environment, defunding our schools. I read this a minute ago, but I just want it to sink in. This administration is moving our country in the wrong direction. We will fight tirelessly on the Adam Mockler channel with multiple contributors. We've got Chris, we've got Micah, we've got a lead policy advisor making sure we're bringing you the truth, the facts, statistics every single day. So subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next one.
All righty then. That's just one video I found. That's just one. I'm going to take you over to Don Lemon. Don Lemon used to be with CNN. Now he's a YouTube podcaster, content creator, whatever you'd like to call him. And I used to watch Don when he was with CNN. I enjoyed watching him and Chris Cuomo. Exactly, Fonda, and that's what was said. Many strokes. That's one diagnosis, possible diagnosis. Yes. So let me pull this one up for you. I'll share this with you. This has become an issue. I'll just keep it like that. I'm going to keep it real like that. Because what's going to happen if something like that does happen? This country is going to be sent into Lord knows what. Remember when Reagan was in office and how They kept on the down low his decline. He had Alzheimer's. Yes, Barbara. He went to DC, and he was out there with the people, and they were going off. They were going off about this administration. So let me add this.
On the president's hand and also swelling.
Sorry about this.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lance Williams,
This video,
the only
is-
independent. Over the last few weeks, the news
In the president's legs. So in the effort of transparency, the president wanted me to share a note from his physician with all of you today. In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. In keeping with routine medical care and out of an abundance of caution, this concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House medical unit. The president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease. Laboratory testing included a complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile.
I'm calling Cap on that. Cap, you're capping, lady. He has all the signs of deep thrombosis, vein thrombosis. All the signs. I have it. Now, if I can say I have it, and I can look at his cankles or whatever they call it, I know what the symptoms are. And she's capping. I'm sorry, she's capping. The same thing happening here is what happened in his first term, when he literally told that doctor what to say, that he's the healthiest president that's ever been. And that was a lie. Yeah, Barbara, if you let him tell it, yes. So I just feel like she's doing the same thing that last doctor did. That last doctor actually did come out and admit that that wasn't his true feelings, that Trump made him. He wrote it out for him.
D-dimer, B-type natriuretic peptide, and cardiac biomarkers. All results were within normal limits. An echocardiogram was also performed and confirmed normal cardiac structure and function. No signs of heart failure, renal impairment, or systemic illness were identified. Additionally, recent photos of the president have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen.
My hand is bruised because I'm shaking too many people's hands. I'm sorry. Really? Are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? That's as crazy as... Let me shut up. I don't want to get on Tamar. But that's as crazy as her sleepwalking diagnosis. Exactly, Barbara, if he hasn't done so already. Did you... He got a big ass bruise on the back of his hand. That big. Due to handshaking. Exactly, Black. Exactly. Put some people in here that's got a little bit more time ahead of them, hopefully. Because when you start going into senility, or, being what they called back in the old days, being senile, all these things that happen to the elderly as they get older, that's just a part of life. Excuse me. That's one hell of a blood thinner if that's the case. Exactly, Don. But if you let him tell it, he is the epitome of health. Fat ankles and all. And oh, don't pay this bruise no mind on my hand. I've been shaking a lot of hands. Well, then change hands. Yeah, Tamar for president. That's ridiculous. I heard that excuse and I just about fell out of my chair.
This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy. And the president remains in excellent health, which I think all of you witness on a daily basis here.
The first thing I would think would be congestive heart failure. And I know that they're saying that he doesn't have it, but let's just say, based on appearance, age, and likelihood, 6.7 million Americans have congestive heart failure. And when you have that, it can cause a backup of fluid and give you those swollen ankles, swollen legs like he has. If you have congestive heart failure, the treatment would be to give you a water pill, like a diuretic. Most average Americans will take pills by mouth, but if you're the president and you have access, you could take an IV water pill like Lasix. And what would you use? You would use your veins in your hands. Okay.
Y'all see? Oh my goodness. Let me get that out. You see that bruise? Do you see that bruise? That ain't from shaking no hands. His skin is cosmetic, or not cosmetically made up, but yes, makeup. He's been applying that orange makeup on him more so than usual. Yes, Retreader, you said it right. Older skin bruises very fast. Light-skinned people as well. My doctor told me it happens all the time. He needs to wear gloves. Too many hands shaking. That ain't what's causing no bruise. Because if you listen to what this doctor said, if he's taking blood thinners, he doesn't necessarily have to take them in the pill form. Oh no, it's not, Barbara. It's a figment of our imagination. Somebody need to tell him the black is coming out of him and see what happens. Ooh, did I say that? I'm sorry. That man would have a cardiac arrest if you said that to him.
Okay, you would have IVs in your hands. Not saying that this is what he's done, but just telling you how my mind is working when I look at his hand. If indeed he is on aspirin, a blood thinner, and he's getting IVs, then that could explain this non-minor bruising. This is pretty significant bruising.
Exactly.
But of course, that would help his swelling to go down. The other thing that could happen potentially, I don't know for him, I'm not his physician, I would suspect that if you're getting a lot of water pills through the IV, that could cause your kidneys to not work as well, which could also cause you to have a backup of fluid. I am a board certified kidney doctor. I see this every day. Mm-hmm. He looks pale. A lot of people don't know that as far as your kidneys, they're responsible in a lot of ways for keeping you from being anemic or having low blood. Your kidneys cause your bone marrow to make red blood cells. So if you had any of these situations, then that could cause you to have the pale skin.
Look at that. Look at the ear. Okay, so see this cursor? See, I put makeup on every day, and I'm very, very particular in coverage. If you notice how dark it is right here, and dark on the cheeks. But when you get up here toward the hairline, he's pink. He's not getting total coverage because he's avoiding covering his hair or getting it on his hair. But if you look at his ears compared to the portion of his hairline that has no makeup applied. Yes, Barbara, yes. Ivy bruise. But the makeup thing, he's laying on this makeup big time. But his eyes are damn near shut compared to other times. Yeah, he's not 100% Retretta. Not by a long shot. Let's hear what else this doctor has.
The swelling in the legs and the ankles, the bruising in the hand that's bad enough to need to have some type of a concealer. My issue is, Don, that in the past, he has not been honest about his health. He's had that one doctor from 2013 to 2018 saying he was the healthiest president ever in the history. He had another doctor prior to that who said he was the healthiest president ever elected. And then that doctor came back and admitted that Donald Trump actually dictated that note. And so he's already given us a history of not being able to trust what he says. So I don't care how many times they stand from the podium and say, we're being transparent and they give us information. I'm still using my medical brain. And it's telling me that in this almost 80-year-old man, there's something else going on other than just really common, benign conditions. I don't trust it.
Okay. So let's look at, so this is, look how pale he is here. And I mean, and you can look at, and I don't believe these to be doctored photographs. That's a lot of bronzer or whatever it is. Now let's talk about, we're going to go through all of this. Can you just go back to the hands for me, Andy? Okay. Let's look at the doctor. When you look at this, and what did Caroline Levitt said, that this is aspirin or whatever? I know he's not your patient, but what would you say if you were to look at a patient that had this type of symptom? What would you say the issue is, and how would you, what would you recommend the treatment for them to be?
Okay. So what she was saying that he's on aspirin, which is a blood thinner. And yes, having a blood thinner is something that could cause some bruising, typically not this much bruising. And so if I were his doctor and he's having this much bruising, I would say, what else could cause bruising? Liver issues. If you have liver failure, if you're on certain medications that are causing your liver enzymes to be up, if you have hepatitis, if you're taking certain cholesterol medicines, I would check his liver function test and find out why he's bruising so easily. Also, if I were his doctor, I might already know that he's on a high blood thinner. Now, I'm not saying it's about him specifically. I'm just talking about in general, if he were my patient. If he did have congestive heart failure, and if it were severe, then part of that management is a stronger blood thinner than just aspirin, a stronger blood thinner, which could cause a heavy bruising. And if you were my patient, then I would also know that if he's getting IVs in his hand, then maybe he needs to start switching them up and going to the other hand. This is not typical bruising. And if he's getting bruised like this from just a low dose aspirin, then there's still, I would suspect, an underlying problem.
Okay.
Anyone can run for president. Ain't that the truth, Fonda? Retretta says his eyes tell a lot as well. Pale, what the heck? He is a white man. He only gets sun on the golf course. This is true. He gets a lot of sun, but he also uses a lot of tanner. Because sun doesn't turn you orange. But I tell you what does. That self-tanner. Oh, you making me the bank manager for all the money? Bless your heart, Black. I'll take the job. No, I won't. You gonna make me the bank manager for all the money. Oh my God, Fonda. Now look, if he's got vein issues, I can tell you what his legs look like because I got it too. I got it too. I have that vein issue where my veins are not operating properly in my legs, and my lower calves, my calf from the knees down, completely discolored, completely discolored, totally different color than my thighs. I'd show you, but I don't want to get striked from YouTube trying to do a strip tease or anything like that. But I have to wear those compression socks and everything because my veins are not operating properly. And what it does is the blood stains the skin, under the skin, and they can't change that unless you do it cosmetically. Now he got the money to do that. I don't. So if I were to decide I didn't want my legs to look like that, which I don't, I would have to put on leg makeup, and that doesn't look natural. So I'm just like, hey, it is what it is. Hi, Trina. How are you, sweetie? Good to see you, love. Let me get back to Dawn.
Okay. And so you said that's not typical bruising from an aspirin. What about, it said from, they use the excuse that this is happening from handshakes. And I don't know why that would be happening from handshakes. So you'd think it would be on the other side.
Yeah, it's just not likely. And we already know that he's a germaphobe, so he doesn't love shaking hands.
Right.
But for the longest time, taking a low dose aspirin, an 81 milligram aspirin, was the standard of care in people who were over 40 to prevent heart attacks. So that means he would not have been the first president taking a low dose aspirin. He's not the first president to shake a lot of hands. Why didn't we see this with President Obama, President Bush, President Clinton, you name it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not typical. No matter how much they say that it's normal, it's not. I believe that there's more.
Try the new SR 509 Expressway free through summer. The first new mile of a tolled expressway between
ads.
Okay. And what would you, if you were a patient, like what would your concern be? I know I told you what's the prognosis, but what would your concern be for this person? Would you tell them to fix their diet? Should they be hospitalized? Should they be monitored often? How often should you see them? How severe would you think this is?
I would just say we need to do a full workup on why you're bruising so easily. And so we would call it a coagulopathy workup to make sure that there's no leukemia, to make sure he doesn't have low platelets, that he doesn't have poorly functioning platelets. Again, to make sure he doesn't have liver function issues, to make sure that he's not taking a medication that is causing him to do this. Because sure, bruising on the hands, okay, is not necessarily nice looking or aesthetically pleasing. But if you bruise this easily on your hand, what do you think would happen if you fell and you hit your head? I would be concerned that he's a high risk for a brain bleed if he were to fall. And we have seen him stumble a time or two as he approaches 80 years of age. So I would worry that he has a bleeding disorder and that we need to pay attention and make sure that, hey, maybe he needs a walker or something to ensure that he doesn't fall. If he were a patient, which of course he's not.
Let's put the picture of his ankles up. Okay.
Yeah.
And this was the first indication for people. I mean, people saw the hand and they wondered, but then when they saw the ankles, they had to, I guess the White House realized we got to say something. When you see that, what do you think along with the hand?
The first thing I would think just in seeing this in a vacuum would be congestive heart failure, kidney failure. Absolutely. Those would be my top two. The congestive heart failure is when your heart does not pump strongly enough to get all of the blood and the oxygen forward. And so you get a backup of fluid in the feet, ankles, legs, lungs. Okay. So congestive heart failure can do that. We know that you're at risk for congestive heart failure if you are someone who's older than 70, like of course he is. Also, if you love to have fast food and burgers and you have high cholesterol, you could be at risk as well. He has a history of being a fast food lover, reportedly. The other thing I would think is kidney failure. And again, that's my specialty. If your kidneys aren't working as well to filter out your blood and to make urine, you get a backup of fluid. So that's what I would think in a vacuum if I saw his ankles. Of course, what they've shared is...
Yes, Retretta, I saw that earlier. There was a rumor out over the weekend that Trump had passed away. And he has since then answered that. allegation, which of course we can see that he is alive. I can't say alive and well, but he is alive. And that was an issue over the weekend. It was buzzing all over the internet that Trump was gone.
Is the most benign cause of swollen ankles, which is chronic venous insufficiency. That is not life-threatening. That is very common. And so it's a very safe diagnosis to present to the world without us questioning the health and the virility of the president.
People in the chat are asking about his lips.
What? Now, I don't know about his lips now. Let me see his lips.
I guess they're red and pink or whatever.
Yeah. Even as a young man, he's always had these little tight lips. Anytime you watch Saturday Night Live or the people who talk about him, but let's just talk about lips in general. If his lips were to be like blue or really pale or white, then we would think hypoxia or low oxygen or cyanosis. We know that back when he had COVID, even though he walked up and tried to seem strong, when he got out of the hospital and he snatched the mask off, even though we could still see that he was out of breath, we found out later that he had covered up, that he had high fever, that he was on oxygen, and that he had respiratory problems. If he were to have some consistent prolonged issues with his breathing, like some chronic lung disease, then that's something that could cause a cyanosis or a bluish lip. Now, if he has very red lips, then something that could happen. And again, I'm not saying that he has this. I'm just kind of going through the differential diagnosis. Sometimes in patients who have kidney cancer, they actually make a hormone from the kidney, erythropoietin, that causes you to have very high red blood cells, like too many red blood cells, the opposite of anemia. And that can sometimes cause you to have a ruddy complexion, like a red complexion or red lips. Again, I don't know. I'm not his doctor, but just kind of going off of my experience as a doctor, the things that I think when I see his lips. Why he holds them so tightly, that I cannot tell you.
Okay, that could be a number of things, but what about like puffy eyes in the eye bags here?
Oh gosh, puffy eyes. And there's something on my YouTube channel. I literally just released a video on 5 warning signs of kidney disease that can be written all over your face. One of them was puffy eyes. So puffy eyes, swelling around the eyes, periorbital edema. That's something that can happen if you have kidney failure. Okay, if you're not making enough urine and you have a backup. Also, if you leak protein out in your urine, it's normal to have 0 or very little protein in the urine. But if you have some type of a kidney disease and you're leaking out protein, then you can have a backup of fluid and you can get puffy eyes. Clearly, there are other things as well. It could just be aging. He could have allergies. He could be tired. But when you're looking at someone who's looking as pale and as tired as he, with all of that bruising, I would want to make sure I rule out some of the more serious health problems.
Yes, Fonda, we can talk about the cruise after all this.
Doctor, wow, you have been so informative on this. Did you get to say everything you wanted to say? And I'm sorry I did not get to see that you were in the chat. Did you send us a chat or no this morning?
I did. I was sending a chat. And you're like, is there a healthcare provider in the audience? I was like, me. Yes.
I felt like the people, doctor, on the airplane when there's in the back, you know, when someone is like, oh my gosh, is there?
That's enough of that. Now this last video is on the same subject. So let me pull this up. Okay, is this wrong? Okay, let me pull this one up for you. Okay. Hopefully this will be correct.
Golden to weigh in myself, but putting the page.
Sorry.
So I typically don't like to speculate about people's health. Having said that, though, I will be speculating about Donald Trump's health in this video because I don't necessarily think that he falls into the general category of person. Therefore, it's okay. Not really making an exception here. And since RFK Jr., who's a non-expert, speculates about health, then I feel like as a non-expert, I am emboldened to weigh in myself. But putting the patronizing bullshit aside, on a serious note, there is discourse about Donald Trump's health and whether or not there's this concerted effort to conceal the nature of his well-being. And that's really ironic to me because that's exactly what Republicans speculated about. They accused the Biden White House of trying to cover up his mental health.
Carol, that's exactly what we were saying earlier, that he's doing too much. And it seems as though he's trying to jam a whole lot of activity in before his time is up, because he is really doing the most. His moves are real suspect to me. And I mean, that's saying a lot considering that he's always been suspect to me. But this additional stuff that he's doing, you know, putting the military in cities and stuff to take over the police jobs, and it's just out of hand. He's doing a whole lot of stuff. I mean, the sister that's the first governor over the Federal Reserve, he conveniently picks her to try to fire her. And he doesn't even have the legal grounds to do so. But he's throwing everything he possibly can against the wall to see what sticks. He's doing way too much. And it's almost like he's trying to undo and redo everything he possibly can before he checks out. That's my own opinion. It's nobody else's opinion. It's mine. So if anybody has anything to say about it, they can come say it to me. And I'm not going to change my opinion.
Decline in particular, but I found that claim.
Hey, Linus, you said a mouthful there, love. Blip.
A little bit laughable, not because they weren't trying to do that. They were trying to obscure the extent of his cognitive decline. But like, you can't really do that when you put him in front of a camera and it's clear that he's in cognitive decline. So yes, they tried to gaslight some individuals about that, but funnily enough, Trump's administration seems to be doing the same thing. And it's worth discussing because we don't know where this country is headed after the Trump era is over. So who takes over is, I think, a conversation worth exploring, even if we really have no details. So this is all conjecture on my part. But I just want to talk about what happened on Friday, because journalist Laura Rosen reported that Trump had no public events planned for the weekend, and that enough led to rampant speculation on Twitter. And then people soon realized that Trump wasn't actually spotted since Tuesday, which was at the last cabinet meeting. So immediately, Twitter blew up. Trump is dead was trending on Twitter. People started to speculate that he had passed away and the White House was just hiding it.
Love you too, sweetheart.
And the memes were absolutely insane. The shit people was posting, mind-blowing. I myself had to break my Twitter hiatus to join in on the fun. Turns out he was fine. He was alive and well. And this is according to Aiden Ross, who broke the news because he got a text from Barron Trump, I believe, confirming that his dad was alive, because Aiden Ross logged onto Twitter and saw that people were saying that Trump is dead. So he panicked and he used his proximity to the Trumps and asked, and he was the one to break the news to all of us. Although speculation about Donald Trump's health didn't end there. It's not just that he was gone for several days. It's
good night, Desire. I love you, sweetheart. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, you started to skip the commercial, Camille. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about paying that little extra money to be ad free, because I got enough subscriptions as it is. It's crazy.
Everything leading up to that, you know, the bruises on his hands, the swelling of the ankles, but something else happened that was incredibly suspicious that led to even more speculation. It was this tweet where he responded seemingly to people's concerns about his health or his disappearance, saying, "Never felt better in my life." which is by far and away the most suspicious thing that he could tweet ever, because this man lies every single time he opens his mouth, so much so that you just have to assume automatically that the opposite of what he's saying is true. So for him to say that he's never felt better, that actually means that he's never felt worse, and he feels like death currently.
Barbara, amen to that. Look, you done said a mouthful right there. He eats McDonald's every doggone night, so he says. That is the most unhealthiest diet ever. And I believe it. I've heard him say it. Remember when all those people came to the White House, and he laid out a big spread of nothing but McDonald's food. Who does that? Oh, I'm sorry, somebody that likes McDonald's. Unhealthy. And drinks Coca-Cola. That is the most unhealthy food you could put in your body on a daily basis. Am I on the right page? Yeah. I would assume so, Beverly. Why you say that, sweetheart? Because we're talking about Trump? We're talking about Trump's health issues. The fact that he looks like he might be struggling. We'll put it like that.
And things reached a fever pitch on Monday, today, when we got these new photographs from Donald Trump. The first one here is of him in a car, and I get that the quality is absolute dog shit. This is zoomed in, but you can see that genuinely he looks feeble. He's doing this little wave, looks sad, deflated. But here's the image that really stood out to me. In this image right here, he's walking and his mouth is agape, and he just looks...
Oh, Lord, come on.
In the fast-paced world.
Deathly. And listen, he always looks like shit. But in this photo, he looks really, really bad. Really bad. He doesn't look like himself. He doesn't have the makeup caked on. He looks tired. And in response to these pictures, specifically the one of him in the car, people were sharing a lot of images of him looking like he was nearly dead. Weekend at Donnie's. There's another photo of him walking and looking like he's unstable almost, although it's a static image, so you can't take too much away from that. There's a picture of the bruise on his hand that had superimposed Jeffrey Epstein's face on it. Him looking like a dude from the Goonies, I think. Just a lot of people saying he just doesn't look good. And there's this image here, which I think is what somebody used to, like, they used AI to enhance this. This is not a representation of the actual image. It doesn't look that bad, in my opinion. I think that the AI image, or whatever AI generator they put it into, like, took a shadow and made it look like that, like the guy from the Goonies, I think anyways. So needless to say, he doesn't look well, and people can see that he doesn't look well. Now, him not looking well, him looking sick, generally speaking, people speculating about how bad he looks, that isn't an indication that his death is imminent or anything like that. And if I had to make a prediction, I would say that he's probably going to live years more, even though he is 80 and unhealthy. I mean, listen, people who are evil tend to live very long lives. Case in point, Henry Kissinger. So I don't necessarily think that him looking sick is an indication of anything. Sure, he may be sick, but it could be curable. He could just be going through something temporarily. Although, having said that, though, anytime I've made a prediction, it seems like the opposite has happened. So
he need to get a clue. Don't predict if you're wrong. He just said I'm probably wrong because every prediction I've ever made was wrong. You're wrong about this too. Oh, you got your $1 billion tickets, Barbara? That's what's up. Fonda says he looks a little like Gene Hackman. Yeah, I didn't even recognize Gene Hackman before he checked out. I was like, who is that old man? Gene Hackman. What? I'm thinking of the French Connection. Gene Hackman. That wasn't Gene Hackman. That Gene Hackman was all bent down like this. Poor thing.
With that in mind, I predict that Trump is going to live many more years to come. But here's the thing that is starting to really fuel the speculation. It's the statements coming from Trump administration officials where they are responding to Trump's health, and they're saying, well, of course he's in good health. Having said that, though, you know, I am ready to take over. This is what JD Vance said. You have other individuals like Eric Trump who are saying the same thing. So it kind of looks like individuals are jockeying for power within Trump's administration and in his inner circle. But I think that speculation about his health is creating this sort of feedback loop where a journalist asks a question about his age and his health, and then a Trump official responds to that. And then the media takes their comments and then uses that as evidence to suggest that, oh my God, they're kind of jockeying for power currently. There's a power struggle going on. And that's kind of what I think is happening. So let's listen to what they have to say, and then I'm going to share my thoughts. This is what JD Vance said, and this was before Trump went on a 5-6 day hiatus. Here's what he said when he was asked about possibly taking over for Donald Trump if need be.
At this point, I ain't gonna say nothing. Moving on.
As vice president, you're a heartbeat away from the presidency. And
in the fast-paced world,
your boss is one of the oldest people to ever be sworn into office. You're one of the youngest people to ever be second in line. Are you ready to assume the role of commander-in-chief? And why should Americans trust you to lead the country?
Well, I've gotten a lot of good on-the-job training over the last 200 days, but also say that the president is in incredibly good health. He's got incredible energy. Things can always happen. Yes, terrible tragedies happen, but I feel very confident the president of the United States is in good shape, is going to serve out the remainder of his term and do great things for the American people. And if, God forbid, there's a terrible tragedy, I can't think of better on-the-job training than what I've gotten over the last 200 days.
Now, listen, I don't know what goes on in JD Vance's head, nor do I want to know what goes on in that man's head. Having said that, though, I think that his answer is a little bit telling. I mean, this is all, again, conjecture. All I can do is speculate. But if Trump were doing perfectly well and there were no health concerns, I think that the answer from him would have been to shut down that question, just reject the premise altogether and say, Trump is doing fine. He's going to serve his full term. And he did say that, to be fair. But for him to even entertain the idea of taking over, if God forbid anything were to happen to Donald Trump, that to me in and of itself is like almost this inadvertent admission that maybe he got some bad health news lately. Now, again, I could be talking completely out of my ass right now, and I am talking out of my ass because
you really are. You're talking out of your arse. You're farting out of your arse. You are making entirely no sense. But see, he's young. What can I say? Breaking down in your 60s. Child, mine started breaking down in my 50s. I ain't gonna lie. But this cat right here, he's younger. You know, what can I say? I'm not going to say nothing else about this cat right here other than, you know, he's younger. He ain't been there and done that yet. So, you know, whatever.
I don't know. I don't have any idea. But you have another individual who is saying that right now there is a power struggle going on within Trump's administration to see who is going to be the torchbearer for MAGA when Donald Trump is gone. So the Daily Beast reports conservative political consultant Rick Wilson says a MAGA Hunger Games is playing out in Washington as President Donald Trump, 79, shows his age. Wilson said rumors from the Trumpverse indicate that Vice President JD Vance is moving fast in his shuffling of power behind the scenes, positioning himself to take over the MAGA movement sooner rather than later, according to Wilson's Substack. Slow or fast, he's headed down, Wilson said of Trump. The circle who knows what's up is very, very small and very, very paranoid. JD Vance knows, and he's moving fast. Now, Rick Wilson is not the best source, and he doesn't even say that somebody told him this. I think that he's just speculating, but his speculation is fueling more news. And I think that that to me, like, it's probably happening. I'm sure that JD Vance is preparing, but Donald Trump is 80 years old almost. So I think that you kind of should be prepared to take over if something happens, especially if he looks like shit. But I don't necessarily think that.
Yeah.
You know, it amazes me every time.
What is wrong with you?
The image that Rick.
I think of how he dragged Biden during Biden's presidency. Oh, Lord. Got penicillin scared. A science project gone bad. I'm telling you. I can't quite disagree with you on that one. All I can say is that he dragged Biden so bad toward the end of Biden's presidency about, stumbling or not saying things properly. And, it was funny in some places and stuff. But one thing I can say is I've never seen Trump run. Has anybody ever seen Trump run? Yeah, he gave that football team Big Macs at the White House. Really? Big Macs and fries and Coke. You at the White House, and that's the best you could do for a football team? Come on, man. But he dragged Biden so bad. He ridiculed that man about his health. And yes, Biden had some issues later on down the line and still has some today. But if you compare the two, now Trump may have been healthier at that time, but I have never ever seen Donald Trump run, trot, skip, jump, nothing. He walks. But I've seen Biden run across the stage or run, he wasn't sprinting, but for an old man, that man he wasn't no joke. Let me get this.
Wilson is trying to paint is true. Like, people are scrambling because he's going to die any minute now. I think that that's kind of wishful thinking for a lot of these people. Now, to add to this feedback loop of what's happening, you had Eric Trump. He was asked about taking over for his dad, running in 2028, assuming Donald Trump lives long enough to step down in 2028. And here's what Eric Trump is saying. This is according to Newsweek. Quote, in an interview with Nikkei Asia on Sunday, the president's second son refused to rule out a presidential run at some stage, though he added that he liked the commercial world. It was at the end of the interview that he touched on the issue of presidential ambitions. I'm not ruling it out, he said, adding, I'm not saying no, but I'm also not saying yes. Now, this is not the first time that Eric Trump has said that he has presidential ambitions. Before, he said that he did, although said not really because politics is ruthless, but he's not going to rule it out. So this came from the Nikkei Asia interview that was actually about crypto. I didn't read from that interview because it was paywalled, so we got the Newsweek substitute. But that question was asked because in the event something were to happen to Donald Trump and JD Vance were to take over, I think that a lot of people...
Hello, Serene. How are you, sweetheart? Fonda said, these days Trump can hardly stand behind the podium. It's true. I mean, it's true. This man is struggling. And Michelle, you've hit the nail on the head. His lifestyle is catching up with him. He's 80 years old. Any man that's eating McDonald's every day, French fries, Big Macs, cheeseburgers, whatever it is that he's eating, at some point in time, your blood gonna turn into syrup. It's a known fact. It is sad, Michelle. Very sad. Because the thing is that he's been lying to us for years about his health. He can say what he wants, but he had that doctor get up there and tell a bald-faced lie, saying Oh, this is the healthiest president we've ever had in history. That was a bald-faced lie. And for that man to get up there and admit that Trump dictated that letter or dictated that report to him verbatim speaks volumes on Trump's ability to hide the truth. They say he smells too. Ooh, he peeing on himself, Carol? Depends might be in order. I mean, hey, you get a certain age, you just got to make sure. You got to keep yourself covered. That bladder gets weak. I'm just saying what I'm saying. That go for women and men.
In MAGA world, do not have confidence in JD Vance to be the standard bearer for MAGA, right? And I think journalists sense that, hence why they're asking the question. But again, I don't think that this is a sign of anything in particular. I think that Trump officials are responding to questions that they're getting because there's speculation about Donald Trump's potential declining health. But he could just be like, fine. I know that he was diagnosed with the disease earlier this year, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a death sentence. I've seen people speculate about Trump possibly having congestive heart failure, and that's why he's getting the bruises on his hands, because the medicine that he takes, it's like a blood thinner, I think, and it causes that. I don't fucking know. But listen, here's the main conclusion. All of us are talking out of our asses.
Okay, if you don't know, then what are you talking about it for? Don't get up here like you got some kind of expertise and you don't know what Let me shut up.
None of us know what the fuck is going on. I think that it is clear,
going on.
Or I shouldn't say it's clear. I think it's reasonable to deduce that there is something going on, that perhaps his absence last week was him getting tests and dealing with some particular health issue. Does that mean that he was just diagnosed with some, fatal illness? I don't think so. I think that people want to think that, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. But here's what I will say. I will say that when you actually see Trump cronies authentically start to really position themselves to take over, and not just like something that's thrusted upon them because they were asked about it. Like when you actually see them making moves, that is the sign that people in Trump's small inner circle are worried about what's going to happen to him. That right there is the tall tale sign. I don't think that we've reached that yet. I think that everything we're seeing is just feeding into this idea that Trump's death is imminent, when I don't actually think that that's the case. I could be wrong. I hate to throw cold water on people's wishful thinking, but I just don't think that's the case. Having said that, though, I don't think it's ridiculous to speculate about Donald Trump's health. I think he's very clearly in cognitive decline. I think that the ankles is a sign of something very serious. The bruises, that's also a sign of something serious. What, though? I don't fucking know. But I will say you're not unreasonable to have concerns about what's happening, especially if the president, who never shuts the fuck up, is all of a sudden MIA for a couple of days. That is very, very sketchy. But again, nobody really knows what's happening behind the scenes. They're not going to be transparent about it. And I think that lack of transparency is what's also partially fueling speculation about his health. But we do know that he's old. He looks like shit. Always looks like shit, though, to be fair. And he kind of looks like death, but that doesn't really mean anything. He could live to be 100 years old. I mean, he could pull a Jimmy Carter.
Well, I tell you what, Jimmy Carter wasn't out there doing the most. He was helping people. He was helping build homes. How about that? You have a fire in the Hollywood Hills, Barbara? Seriously? Wow. Michelle says a catheter says he can't control it, or they need to measure it. Lord have mercy. Yeah, Barbara, please be safe. Lord have mercy. This is crazy. Well, I think I've covered enough of Trump and his poor health. But I do want to also talk about, and I'm not going to go off into a whole lot of detail. He wears Depends. Well, everybody got to keep on living, and I'm sure at some point in time we all may have to wear them at some point in time. Michelle, good evening, Auntie Mickey and everyone. I'm just seeing the live and glad that I did. I'm glad you made it too, sweetheart. Glad to see you. Yeah, he talked about Jimmy Carter bad too, but one thing I'll say about Jimmy Carter, that man he did volumes for people, homeless people, people that were in need of places to live. Him and his wife got together, and I mean, they built homes physically, chipped in. He didn't have to dole out no money. He went out there and got busy with those people. My goodness. They can't say nothing bad about Jimmy Carter to me, the peanut farmer. I loved me some Jimmy Carter. He was so sweet. Well, moving on to Cardi B. Now, I'm not going to go off into a whole video montage or anything like that. Hi, CRH. Yes, Auntie, I'm old enough to remember. Yeah, man, Jimmy Carter was the truth. I miss him. Cardi B was in court. She was being sued by a woman by the name of Imani Ellis. She was a security guard, as you guys probably have seen. Hi, CRH. Cardi B was in court. Imani Ellis, who was a security guard back in 2018, Cardi B had a doctor's appointment. Yes, he claims to be the best golf player of all time, only because he, walks on the grounds of the. He's the greatest of everything of all time, if you let him tell it. But Cardi B was in court, and the verdict came out today. She was being sued by Imani Ellis for $22 or $24 million. Jesus. She was claiming that Cardi B slashed her face, okay, with her nail. And of course, Cardi B was found not guilty. This was a civil suit, so not a criminal issue. I just found it ironic that this woman in the year 2025 is trying to sue Cardi B for something that allegedly happened in 2018. What does that tell you right there? Money grab. But one thing I enjoyed seeing Cardi on the on the on the witness stand, and she didn't pull no punches. She was cussing like she was out there on the street, but she was being true to form. Cardi B is not changing for nobody. She said out there after the verdict, she says, "I did not touch that woman," and she was adamant about it. I did not touch that woman. She said, "Next one who tries to sue me, a frivolous lawsuit of any kind like that, I'm going to countersue. Because this is getting old. This is ridiculous." Cardi don't play. She's not playing. So apparently, what this case was about was she went to a doctor's appointment back in 2018 when she was pregnant with her first child. And she wasn't feeling well. Yes, the lady said that that Cardi spit on her. There's no proof of any of that. Nothing this woman said was proven. Absolutely, she stood 10 toes down. So, this was Cardi's first pregnancy. Absolutely, Michelle. Carter was also responsible for funding education and training that benefited generations until now that Trump cut funding. Exactly. He's doing too much. But Cardi wasn't feeling very well. So she told her team, I need to see a doctor. And she was in Los Angeles at the time. Her normal doctor was in New York. Okay. So they found her a doctor that would see her. Yes. Culture. Found a doctor that would see her. And so she went to this appointment. She was the last one in the office. And a lot of that had to do with it. She didn't want to draw attention to herself because even from what I understand, even her team didn't know she was pregnant yet. So there's this security guard there, this woman, Imani. And Cardi happens to see this guard filming her. And of course, Cardi, being true to form, told her to stop filming me. And it got kind of heated. And the guard told her, I'm going to do what I want to do, blah, 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 blah. You know how folks get sometimes. And they began to argue. And it got kind of heated. And they were chest to chest. Because Cardi ain't backing down from nobody. Okay? Chest to chest, but they never touched. Okay? They never touched. So another employee, the receptionist, she jumps up. She sees this going on, and she jumps in and she stands between them. She's facing the guard, okay? And in the process of intervening, she ends up getting scratched by the guard, okay? So by this time, the doctor comes out, and because he hears the commotion, and he takes Cardi to the back and conducts the appointment. And of course, Cardi's pretty much saying, this is your guard. I mean, this is how you treat your patients. I mean, she's off the chain. So the guard was told to leave. Cardi was there for a good 30 minutes or so for this appointment, and then she went on home. And like I said, Tiana, the name of the receptionist, her name was Tiana. And she found that she had been scratched by the guard. Okay. Long story short, here we go. 3 years later, it's COVID time. The guard decides to hire a plastic surgeon to repair a so-called scratch on her face that she claims Cardi put on her face, about 2 inches long. And she found a plastic surgeon that would conduct the plastic surgery to get rid of this so-called scar on her face. And truth be told, in most circles for plastic surgeons, for something that minor, they're going to charge you, what do they call it? Not microabrasion. Maybe it is microabrasion, but there's some kind of a procedure that's done. It only costs you about $150. Okay. Absolutely, Kathy. Absolutely. So she found this doggone plastic surgeon that's willing to ride this lie. I'll just call it what it was. First of all, let me back up. Exactly, Michelle. This guard was on the phone with her grandmother or mother or somebody, and she allegedly had been sliced in the face by Cardi's nail back in 2018, and she goes home and takes a nap. Red flag number one. Who does that kind of sound like to you? I woke up in a pool of blood and I was missing 4 teeth and a broken nose. And so I went to get my teeth fixed. But there's no police report, no police phone call, no 911, nothing. Tamar, yes. Sounds a lot like Tamar, don't it? So this chick goes home and takes a nap after allegedly being sliced in the face by Cardi B. But it takes her 3 years to do something, okay? 3 years later during COVID, she finds this plastic surgeon to repair her so-called scratch on her face. And this plastic surgeon, for a $150 job, he charged this chick 11 grand. And the lady, the guard also claims that Cardi spit on her. Now, in legal terms, there's battery and there's assault. Assault is the fear of, when someone does something to you and you're afraid of what they're about to do to you. Battery is when they literally do some type of touching, so to speak, whether it be a bam or a smack or a scratch or whatever. So that's the difference between battery and assault. So, no picture was ever taken of the scratch. Yes, she was in a car accident. Thank you for saying that, Kathy. Because the scratch, they believe, allegedly, this scratch was actually as a result of the car accident, not Cardi. Because all this took place 3 years later. You're going to a plastic surgeon 3 years after the fact to get a scratch repaired that someone did to you 3 years ago. A quick buck, Nadine. That's exactly what that was. That was a money grab all day long. All day long. There was never any picture of the scratch taken. As a matter of fact, the only so-called evidence of this scratch was the plastic surgeon's picture, which when they presented it in court as an exhibit of evidence, the attorney says, this picture seems to be a bit fuzzy, but there's where the scratch is. Nobody could see the scratch. Nobody. There was no scratch to be seen. Exactly, Serene. I'm surprised this even went to court. Tamar had no receipts that were relevant, and she couldn't remember half of her own story. Exactly. And imagine you coming after somebody 3 to 5 years after. This happened in 2018. 3 years after the fact, you go to a plastic surgeon to fix something allegedly that this woman did to you. You ain't in court about it. You ain't called no police. Nobody's been involved. Nothing. This was a big old money grab, and it was sloppily done. But instead of going to get a so-called, something started, she goes home and takes a nap. No 911 call, no nothing. No incident report. She ended up losing her job, of course. And that's probably why she got all frosty. But just to let y'all know, Cardi B prevailed in this particular attempt to get her on this frivolous lawsuit, because that's exactly what it was, a frivolous lawsuit, and that young lady ought to be ashamed of herself. Come on. Come on. Come on, Big Back. You could have done better. But anyway, that's all I have for you now. Fonda wanted to talk about the cruise. And if you give me a moment, I can try to pull up this video that I want you guys to see. It might take me a minute, but it's something that you guys might want to consider. I still want to do the cruise. I really do. But there was some things on this list that blew me away. Oh my. Funky Dineva did a live an hour ago. Do you guys want to see Funky Well, I can do this tomorrow. I can do this tomorrow. Let's talk about the cruise. Let me see if I can find that video. Some of the things that they picked, some of the things that they presented on cruises, things that you need to be cognizant of. Oh, thank you, Serene. I had to pull them things down. That little glitter stuff, that was so corny. I had to get rid of it. But yes, I got my little plants. They're not real. They're not real. I just had to make it look a little bit more homey. But I would love to find this video that you guys would be very interested in, considering it's about a cruise. Let me see. Cruise ship. I think it's called 15 things you need to know about cruises. Let me see if that'll pull it up. Usually I try to have this prepared so I don't have to search for it. 20 most important first-time cruise tips and things to know. Cruising do's and don'ts. Okay. But this one, it made me take a double take. I was like, huh? Things that can get you kicked off the ship. And if I could see what I watched it, so maybe, well, you saw that, Fonda? I wish I could remember the name of it. Let's see. I can't find it in my history. Shoot. Okay. View all. Clear, manage. Okay. Let me scroll down and see if I can find this. Here we go. 17 dangerous cruise mistakes you need to avoid at all costs. Okay, it's not a website. It was a video. And I found it if you want to see it, Retretta. Y'all want me to pull it up for you so you can see it? This video lasts about 22 minutes. Because once we get into this, once we get an understanding, then we can decide if we still want to do this. Okay, let me share. Let me pull it up first. Okay. Let me share the screen. And while you guys watch that, I gotta go potty.
Dangerous cruise ship mistakes you need
I'll
to
be right
avoid at
back.
all costs. Cruise ships are full of secrets that the crew will never tell you. Whether you're in a fancy suite or a small inside cabin, danger could be right outside your door. Some mistakes will cost you hundreds of dollars. Others could get you kicked off mid-cruise. We're talking fines, fire hazards, safety violations, and even lifetime bans. Today we're going to uncover the 17 things passengers keep doing in their cabins so you don't end up making a mistake that ruins your vacation. Stick around till the end, because some of these rules are things almost everyone breaks without even knowing it. First off, let's talk about a common trap in cruise ship cabins that you've probably never thought twice about. That cold bottle of water and those yummy snacks in your minibar look harmless, right? Big mistake. Here's the truth the cruise lines don't want you to know. Even if you have the unlimited drink package, nothing in that minibar is included. I'm going to give you a real example. On Royal Caribbean, a can of soda that costs $3 at the bar will cost you $7.50 in the minibar. And the worst part is, many passengers don't even realize it until they see their final bill, with mystery charges of $50, $100 or more. So, how does this trap work? The cruise lines put those items right where you can see them and easily grab them, hoping that when you get a craving or feel a bit lazy, you'll give in. And believe me, it works. According to internal data, the minibar generates an average of $25,000 extra in profit per cruise for the cruise line. But here's your secret weapon. Instead of falling for the minibar trap, do this. Order your drinks from any bar where they're included. Bring your own snacks from shore. Use room service, which is included in your package.
I wonder if we can bring our own. I'm one of them people that I will put some stuff in my luggage. Cans of pop, chips, bring a carry-on bag full of snacks before I buy stuff on a place like when I go to when we spend the night in the hotels. You know, me and my husband will go to the grocery store and buy stuff for the room. Because the first thing them hotels will get you on is their snacks and their sodas. We couldn't even put our own stuff in the fridge at the Westin Hotel last weekend. Not this past weekend, but the weekend of the festival. We got a room at the Westin Hotel, 5-star hotel, and they had the little cooler in the room, and it was stocked up with all kinds of drinks and stuff. We couldn't even put our own stuff in there. You can't take anything out of there because once you do, they charge it. They charge it to your room. Whether you drink it or not, if you remove it, you bought it. And if you put something of your own in there, they can weigh. they have some kind of a weighing service, a weighing, not service, but a way of detecting the weight in that particular cooling box, because it's just a little box, and they can actually gauge the weight of the items in there, and they can tell if anything has been taken out or anything has been put in. And if you put your own stuff in there, you got to pay for that too. So thank God for the ice machine, because I'm telling you, sometimes even if you bring your own stuff, if you need to keep stuff cold, you got to take advantage of that ice machine, because if you have a fridge in your room, they will charge you to use it just to put your own stuff in there. I don't buy that. I'm not paying no $5 for a can of soda. That's crazy. But I learned some things on this cruise ship. Y'all got to hear this stuff. They're not like a hotel. They have technology that's even more, crazy.
Remember, every dollar you don't spend on the minibar is an extra dollar for that special shore trip or that relaxing massage that will really be worth it. And if you really need something from that minibar, at least check the prices first on the cabin menu. You'll be surprised by how different they are from prices in other parts of the ship. Think twice before you light up that cigarette on your private balcony, because what happens next could totally ruin your cruise.
Now this one, I'm glad I seen this, because y'all know I smoke, but I'm not going to smoke in the room. But this says even on your balcony. On your balcony, outside of the room. If you step outside your room on that balcony and close the door, you still can't smoke. And you're out in the ocean. You're in the air. Ain't that something?
Here's a scary fact for you. In 2023, Carnival kicked out 147 passengers just for smoking in their cabins. No warnings, no second chances. They'll make you get off at the next port, and you have to pay for your own trip back home.
Yep.
But that's not all. The minimum fine for smoking in the cabin is $250. If you trigger the smoke detectors, and believe me, they're super sensitive, you'll pay an additional $500. The detectors can even identify vapes, so don't even try.
I went to Vegas last year. We stayed at the Westmore, something like that. And I'll be the first to admit, I smoked downstairs, and I put my cigarette out, but I didn't know that it was still lit. And because I just took a couple puffs off of it, and I stuffed it down into the pack. Stuffed it down in here. It was still lit, and I didn't notice it. So I get into the room, and I'm smelling smoke, and I'm like, what is that? And there was a cigarette burning inside the pack. I hurried up and put it out. But do you know that the hotel contacted me within 2 hours? I'm not smoking. I discovered it. Oh my God. And I throw it away. I threw it under water or something and threw it in the garbage. Do you know that hotel within 2 hours sent me a text message telling me that they're charging me $500 for smoking in my room? And I had to go down there and beg and plead with these people. Look, I was not smoking. I came downstairs. I was smoking outside. Didn't put the cigarette out good enough. Put it in the pack. Put it in my pocket. And went upstairs to my room. Discovered that the thing was smoking in there. And I immediately put it out. They have technology in these rooms now infrared technology and everything. The cruise ships are even more sensitive, but they have technology in these hotels now that can detect the time and the location in the room where the smoke took place, the precise time. And I told them everything. I said, look, at about such and such a time, I went upstairs to my room and noticed that my pocket was smoking, and there was my cigarette pack was in there, and it was smoking out of there. Apparently, I didn't put the cigarette out good enough. Blah blah blah. And they checked it out and found that I was telling the truth, and that's how I got out of that $500. But they sure enough was gonna pop me for $500 for smoking in that room. So you can't even play like that. Some people, they travel with what do you call those smokeless ashtrays that you can sit your cigarette in it, and the smoke will go into the ashtray through a filter. None of that works. No. Fonda says, I've been searching a little. We'll be able to share rooms. They had single, double, and 3 to 4 people per room. Just asking. If you guys want to choose to, if people want to share a room, you guys have the prerogative to do that. That's a personal preference. That'll come down to when we actually start making reservations, the group, as a group, and who gets assigned to what room. We're going to need to designate, do you want a single room or do you want to share a room with somebody? That kind of thing. So Retretta said, cameras are also where you have no idea. Glad they are so like that. They are very careful. I'm glad. Auntie, that's a good start to stop smoking. Ain't that the truth? Let me go ahead and finish this video. This video is very informative.
Why are they so strict? A single poorly extinguished cigarette caused a fire on the Star Princess that destroyed 1 cabin and severely damaged 13 others. Now all cruise lines watch for this with thermal cameras and the latest sensors.
Look at that.
If you need to smoke, only use the special smoking areas, always on the open deck. Check the times. Many cruise lines don't allow smoking after midnight. Keep in mind that some new ships don't have any smoking areas at all.
Now that you know this, wait till you hear about mistake number 3. Because what's coming next is a sneaky trick cruise lines use to take hundreds of dollars from you and you won't even notice.
Check this out, y'all.
Those soft white robes and fluffy towels, they look like great souvenirs, but they'll cost you big time. Cruise lines use a tracking system that makes the CIA look like amateurs. Here's how they catch you. Towels and robes have RFID chips sewn into the tags. The ship's exits have hidden scanners.
I about fell out when I heard this. They have chips in the bathrobes and towels. I about fell out when I heard that. Now, I'm not saying anybody in our group would do anything like that, but we know everybody in this chat probably knows somebody that may want to try to sneak something out of the room, nice robe, nice towels. They gonna get you. And when they get you, I'll let the video tell you.
If you take something you're not supposed to, an alarm will sound when you get off. The prices you'll pay are brutal. Cotton robe, $95, even though it costs $25 on Amazon.
Ain't that something?
Large towel, $65. Even pool towels have chips and cost $45. But there's a legal trick. You can bring your own beach towels, no problem.
There you go.
The small hand towels and toiletries are actually free. If you really love that robe, ask at the front desk. Sometimes they sell them officially for less.
Now, I can get with that. I could get with that. Buy it.
Those party decorations or family photos you want to hang up could cost you your whole security deposit for the cabin. Cruise ship walls are not like the walls in your house, and cruise lines have very good reasons to be super strict about this. Here's the real problem. The special paint that stops rust is super expensive to fix. Sticky stuff leaves gunk behind that needs a lot of sanding. Even a simple sticky hook can rip off layers of paint. Typical charges for damage: $75 for tape marks,
Wow.
$150 for unauthorized hooks, up to $500 if you damage wood panels or mirrors. But there are safe ways to do it. Use magnets, because the walls are metal under the paint. Ask about decoration kits that are allowed.
I did not know that. Metal up under the paint. Make sure you get a prescription for vertigo. Amen to that. Amen to that. I went on one cruise, and man, it took me a minute to get adjusted. Ask my husband. We was both kind of, ooh, wee.
Put your photos on the dresser without any glue. Shocking story. On a Disney cruise, a family put up birthday decorations using strong tape and ended up paying $1,200 in repairs.
Lord have mercy.
The cruise line showed them pictures of the actual damage. They had to repaint the whole cabin.
Wow.
And parents, listen up. If your kids draw on the walls, even with a pencil, you'll automatically get charged for a professional cleaning.
They ain't got to worry about that with us, because we ain't bringing no children. This is a grown kinfolk cruise only. And I know none of us really have to worry about little ones. But we ain't bringing no kids. And that includes my own grandkids. Nope, you sitting this one out, buddies.
It's better to bring drawing books and avoid any scares. Okay, next is mistake number 5. And I'm warning you, it's a nasty one. If you don't know this, you could flood your cabin and have some really mad neighbors. That sink in your cabin looks like the perfect spot to rinse out a swimsuit or some socks, right? Big mistake. Cruise ship plumbing systems are so delicate that even a single pair of socks could cause a disaster costing thousands of dollars. And guess who ends up paying for it? Here's why it's so dangerous. Cruise ship drains are only about a quarter of the size of the ones at home. Laundry soap makes a lot of foam that can block up the drains for many cabins. Fibers from clothes build up and make clogs that are impossible to get rid of. So, what's the solution? If you really need to wash something, use the ship's laundry service. Yes, it's pricey, but it's cheaper than paying for the damage. Or even better, pack enough clothes. You're on vacation, not in a fashion show.
Hey, Anthony. How's it going, love? Do's and don'ts on a cruise. Because we're going to be going on a cruise next year. So we got to start planning this now. Can you imagine, though? I saw this about washing stuff in the sink. You know, every now and then, you know, somebody may need to wash a pair of socks or some drawers or something. You know, you should be bringing that with you anyway. But, you know, some folk, they want to wash something out in the sink. They tell you not to do that at all. I didn't realize how sensitive their plumbing system was.
This next mistake is a really big deal. It's so serious it has actually left passengers stranded in foreign ports, and all because they didn't understand one simple safety rule. This is one of the most dangerous mistakes you can make in your cabin, and hardly anyone knows about it until it's too late. Opening the main door and the balcony door at the same time can create a wind tunnel effect that turns your cabin into a danger zone. Here's why. Cruise ships have air pressure systems that are super sensitive. When you open both doors, it creates a kind of suction that can shoot things out into the ocean in just seconds. The doors can slam shut hard enough to break bones. You could even set off emergency alarms on the ship's bridge. Here are some real stories that will make you think twice.
This part is crazy. This part right here is crazy. Do not open your door to your room and your balcony door at the same time, or else it will create a wind tunnel effect and suck stuff out into the ocean. Can you believe that? That is scary as all get up. I wouldn't bring a child on a cruise for that reason. That child could get sucked out of the room into the ocean. So I just don't. These Disney cruises where these parents take these little kids on cruises and let them run around and all that. Nope. Nope. See, when I go on a cruise, I want to relax. I don't want to have to make sure that the babies is good. No, we'll do something else. You want to go in the water and play? We'll go to the beach. Yes, chips in the towels. Back in wait, let me put this up, Anthony. Chips in the towels. Back in the day, my mama had a whole set of Howard Johnson's hotel towels for people visiting our home. Yep, I said it. Oh my goodness. Isn't that the truth? I told y'all might want to rethink this cruise thing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no joke. And a lot of people are not aware. There is 17 things that people don't even know that can get you in big trouble on a cruise.
On the Norwegian breakaway, a passenger lost their passport and wallet because of this mistake. A family on the MSCC side had a kid end up in the ship's clinic because a door slammed on their fingers. The Carnival Vista reported 7 incidents in 2023 alone caused by this problem.
We're trying to plan a cruise for somewhere in the summer, I believe, or late summer. It depends on where we go. First off, we want to go somewhere warm. That's been the general consensus. But we don't want to go during hurricane season either. Disneyland is not bad, especially if they got scooters you can rent, because I'm not walking. Man, I'm telling you, there's a lot to consider on a cruise, and I had never heard any of these things before. So just educating y'all before we move forward in the planning process.
How to stay safe: always close one door before you open the other one. Make sure everyone in your cabin knows this rule. Keep papers and small things away from where the wind can catch them. And this is just the beginning. Mistake number 7 is so bad it has actually resulted in passengers falling overboard from their balconies. Seems harmless, right?
This part scares me half to death. A fest on land. Hello, Dawn. That's what I'm... When I seen this, I was like, maybe we should plan something different. Something less complicated.
Leaning on the railing to feel the sea breeze or to take that perfect photo. But here's a scary truth the cruise lines don't want you to know. Those railings aren't made to hold your weight. A simple slip, a sudden move by the ship, or just not paying attention, and you could fall overboard.
Lord
yes,
have
this
mercy.
has happened before. In 2019, a passenger on the Carnival Glory died after falling from their balcony while trying to take a selfie. Why is it so dangerous? Railings are only about 1 meter or 3 feet high, much lower than buildings on land. Wind speeds can exceed 50 kilometers per h or 31 miles per hour, which can destabilize you in seconds. Alcohol and railings are a deadly combination. Most accidents happen when people have been drinking. Safe options: take photos from inside your cabin with the balcony door open. If you have kids, ask for a cabin without a balcony or keep the door locked. And never drink alcohol near the edge. That innocent do not disturb sign you hang on your door could make you look suspicious without you even knowing it. Cruise lines have strict rules when a cabin can't be accessed for more than 24 hours, and they don't mess around with this. Here's the real deal. Staff are trained to report cabins with prolonged do not disturb signs.
Now, this one took me out. This one right here took me out because I'm the type of person that if I'm tired, I can sleep all day long in my room. If I'm paying for it, I'm going to stay in there if I feel like it. But you can't do that on the cruise. They don't allow it. And if you do it, well, I'll let them tell you. Oh, okay, Beverly.
After 24 hours, security may and will enter your cabin. If they find you sleeping or just resting, they'll give you an official warning. If it happens again, you might have to have a mandatory talk with the security officer.
See,
The fix is
too
simple.
much.
Take the sign down at least once a day. If you really need privacy, let the front desk know.
Wow.
Never leave it on when you leave the cabin. And this brings us to mistake number 9, because what's next involves an everyday item that could get you a $500 fine without any warning.
Who's ready to hatch some
That is
cool
too
pets?
much.
Click here to make your very own.
See, I'm like this. I'm like this. If I'm paying for a room, if I choose to stay in that room for 24 hours, that's my business. That's my prerogative. How you gonna tell me I gotta leave the room at any given time because that's your policy? Yeah, wherever we wind up going. I'm not sure if I want to do the cruise. I'm just saying. The more I watch this video, I'm like, y'all taking all the fun out of it. Can't sleep in your cabin. I mean, what if I don't want somebody coming in my cabin because I don't want nobody touching my stuff? Even if I'm not in there. Sometimes I'll put the do not disturb sign on my room when I know I'm not going to be in there because I don't want nobody coming in there touching nothing without me being there. It's happened before. I've had a room, I'll never forget it. I was at a conference in Spokane for Blacks in Government years ago. And I left my room and I let them, I didn't put no sign up saying do not enter or anything like that. Yeah, what if you're sick? But here's the thing, they don't have a problem with you being sick, but you got to let somebody know if you're going to be in your room. Or what? I paid for the room. If I want to sit in here the whole doggone time I'm on this ship, I should be able to sit in there if I paid for that room. You see what I'm saying? But here's my thing. Everybody ain't honest working on them ships, working in these hotels. And I had somebody to steal some money from my purse while I was not in my room. That is why I am not the biggest advocate for people coming in and cleaning the room every day. Every other day, fine. But every day, no, you don't need to come in and make up my bed for me. I can make up my own bed. If you got personal belongings that you put away, I don't know if them people's going through my stuff while I'm not in that room. I don't trust people like that.
Sounds romantic, right? A candlelit dinner in your cabin or maybe some incense to help you relax. Catastrophic mistake. Cruise ships.
Oh, Michelle, there's something about the safes coming up. Wait till you see that one.
Have a zero tolerance policy for open flames, and the consequences are severe. Why is it so serious? Smoke detectors on cruise ships are 10 times more sensitive than those in hotels. A single candle can trigger alarms throughout the entire ship in seconds. In 2022, a passenger on the MSC Grandiosa caused a massive evacuation by lighting incense. Fines and consequences. We're talking at least a $500 fine if you set off a false alarm. You could even get kicked off the ship if it happens at night. And you might get banned for life from luxury cruise lines like Celebrity or Holland America.
Wow.
Safe alternatives. Battery-operated electronic candles. They often sell them right on board. USB aromatherapy lamps.
They sell them on board. Isn't that convenient? Come and buy our little battery-operated candles. So they want you to spend more money. But I can understand why you shouldn't have a candle or incense, based on what happens. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I thought of that too, Serene. My son, that boy, I won't call him boy, that man loves some incense. And I could see him going on a cruise and lighting. I can see him going out on the balcony and hitting his blunt or something like that and getting kicked off the ship. I could see him lighting incense, getting kicked off the ship. Mama, I'm in Puerto Rico or Puerto Vallarta. No. You got to listen to the rules.
That don't use a flame. Or heat-free fragrance diffusers. Just ask at the front desk. But wait, it gets worse. Mistake number 10 is so common that 80% of passengers make it. And they don't even know it can block the ship's entire plumbing system. Can you guess what it is? It sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people ignore this basic rule. Cruise ship toilets don't work like the ones at your house. They use a powerful vacuum system that can turn a small mistake into an expensive disaster. Here's why it's so dangerous. Just one wrong item can block the system for your whole section of cabins. Repairs out at sea cost 5 times more than on land. You could end up with sewage backing up in your bathroom. The worst offenders, which will cost you over $250. Wet wipes, even if labeled biodegradable. Tampons or feminine products. Condoms. Diapers. Yes, it really has happened. How to avoid disaster. Use the trash cans they give you. They're emptied 3 times a day. For feminine products, ask for a special container at the front desk. If you accidentally flush something you shouldn't, tell your cabin attendant right away. But that's nothing compared to mistake number 11, where a simple cell phone charger could get you taken to the security room. Can you guess why? You might think it's no big deal. A little iron for your clothes.
Now, you see this? How many of us want to iron our clothes out because it's been, balled up in our luggage or whatever? Because some people, they pack like that. They pack very tightly. They don't necessarily fold. And even if you fold, you still don't want your stuff all wrinkled and, fold lines and all that stuff. And some people prefer to bring their own irons. Yeah, Fonda, we may have to talk about that as an alternative. I hear you, Barbara. Me either.
Or an extension cord to charge all your gadgets. But here's a secret the cruise lines don't want you to know. These everyday things are seen as possible dangers on the ship, and security is super serious about them. Here's the real scary part. Regular irons are the top reason for fires in cabins. Cheap extension cords can get too hot and melt. Just one short circuit can knock out the power for a whole part of the ship.
Wow.
What happens if they catch you? They'll take your stuff right away and you won't get it back.
Wow.
You'll get an automatic fine from $200 to $500 for violating safety rules. Safe options. Cordless steam irons. They even sell them on the ship. Power strips without surge protectors. Those are the only kind you can bring.
They even sell them on the ship. You follow where I'm going with this? Yes, you can get a cordless steamer. They sell them on the ship. What else do you sell on the ship? Bet you sell a whole lot of stuff on the ship to make that extra money.
Professional ironing service. It's only $2 to $5 per garment. Did you know?
Only.
Some cruise ships have hidden cameras in luggage inspection areas specifically to detect these items. If you try to hide them, you'll be caught before boarding. But that's nothing compared to mistake number 12, where a simple, innocent selfie could get you kicked off the ship for good. That perfect social media pic, it could cost you way more than just likes.
Okay, this was a trip to me. Do not share your location on the cruise ship. Me as a YouTuber or a content creator, this would be something I would do. You know, making a video or vlogging or maybe even going live. This is what we do as content creators. When I go to the casino, sometimes I'll make videos. Half the time I don't post them. I went the other night and I did pretty good on one game and I got it all on video, and then I said, I ain't putting this up. Retretta says, get a lesson on folding clothes. I got lessons years ago when I used to fly a lot, but that was with the airlines that I used to fly with. Yes. I don't think you have cellular service. At least we didn't. We will have to pay arms and legs to get off the... They put you off the boat. They put you off the boat. This is the scary thing to me. That has been my greatest fear about a cruise ship. What if I miss the boat? Yes, you can take pictures, but they say that you can't have your location. This will explain it. I'll play it.
We're talking theft, scams, even personal danger. All because you posted in real time without thinking. Thieves at the ports watch popular hashtags like Royal Caribbean or Carnival Cruise. Your photos can reveal your cabin number, reflected in mirrors or shown on your wristband. Your exact itinerary from photos of the ship's planner. And when your cabin is empty based on your shore excursion selfies. So how do you stay safe? First, turn off location tagging on your apps before you travel. Second, never show your boarding pass or ID wristband in pics. Third, post your photos after you get back home. But this is nothing. Mistake number 13 is so serious that
I'm not sure where Charles is, sweetheart. I'm going to have to give him a call.
It has left families stranded in foreign ports without money or documents. Can you guess what it is? These employees who quietly clean your cabin and fold your towels into swans have more power than you imagine.
Now this one right here pissed me off. This one right here pissed me off. Yes, I agree with you, Retretta. This one right here, you guys listen to this one. I'm going to back it up just a little bit. Because now you making me look at your people that work for you sideways. Check this out.
Families stranded in foreign ports without money or documents. Can you guess what it is? These employees who quietly clean your cabin and fold your towels into swans have more power than you imagine. Treat them badly, and your cruise could turn into a nightmare that not even the best shore excursions can fix. The uncomfortable truth is, your cabin steward reports directly to the head of security. They can speed up or slow down your cabin cleaning depending on how you treat them. They have access to things you wouldn't imagine, from extra towels to that fan you really asked for. Here's what happens when you treat them poorly. Your cabin will be the last one cleaned every single day. Towels might accidentally disappear just when you need them the most.
Okay, so we gotta kiss their tail just so we don't get jacked up for towels disappearing. Hi, 8 with the 24. How you doing, love? They're basically telling us you better treat these people, you know, however. I mean, when you say don't treat them poorly, I don't treat anybody poorly. But how am I to know how vindictive somebody can? That is petty, Serene. Treat the people that are cleaning your rooms, kiss their behinds, basically. Because if they get mad at you, these are the things that they can do to you, and there's nothing we can do about it. The devil is a lie. Yeah, and if you don't tip them properly, what you ain't gonna clean my room every day, or you gonna put mine at the end? Exactly. This right here made me look at them side-eyed right here, because they said, look, let me back up. They have access to things you wouldn't imagine. Listen to
You
this.
wouldn't imagine, from extra towels to that fan you really asked for. Here's what happens when you treat them poorly. Your cabin will be the last one cleaned every single day. Towels might accidentally disappear just when you need them the most. That complaint about your noisy neighbor, it mysteriously won't reach reception. But here's how to earn their loyalty. A simple hello and thank you each day opens more doors than any tip. Leave $2 to $5 per night in a marked envelope.
So now you're going to tell us how to tip them too. See, I have a problem with this. And I believe in tipping. What I don't believe in is telling me how much to tip somebody. Leave $2 to $5 per night in a marked envelope. Pay them right. How about that? But this video let me know that the cruise lines know that this type of behavior is going on with the people that are working on the ship, and they condone it. If they're warning us by saying don't treat them poorly, well, each individual has their own gauge of what is considered poor or poor treatment. Exactly. You said a mouthful right there, Serene. You said a mouthful right there. And saying they have more power than we think, is that a threat? Earn their loyalty? But can you imagine somebody gets a little behind on their shoulders because you didn't say thank you the right way? Yeah. Oh my goodness, Fonda. I saw that a ship worker was stalking a woman on the ship. Perfect example. This is a worker. They have no control over these people, but they're letting us know in this video, we know what our employees are capable of doing. So treat them right so they don't do it to you. Well, what does that say about you as an organization? You're pretty much letting me know that you condone this behavior because you're telling us about it. And you have no control over these employees. Every employee is different. They perceive things differently. So what if I don't leave you if I only leave you $2 instead of $5, does that mean my towels are gonna disappear and I'm gonna get charged for them? Absolutely. Watch out for food. See, the more I look at this video, Retretta says, I would have to take my towels and wash clothes. I don't like these rules. I think all ships give you a guide for their ship and cruise before the cruise. Anyway, I'm calling Sam's Club for guide. Yes. I'm of the mind to do something else. Exactly. So they're saying our belongings could disappear too, not just towels. But this part, this leave $2 to $5 per night in a marked envelope. You being pretty specific here. There may not be a penalty, Fonda, but this particular rule right here, first of all, it shouldn't even be a rule. It's plain and common sense to treat people correctly. But you're telling me if I don't treat somebody a certain kind of way based on what that person is expecting of me, they can do something? No. How about they can end up on the other side of that boat? Let me catch you touching my stuff without my permission. Please. Man overboard. No, it's not a great holiday. I shouldn't have to worry about, did I treat this person? What if I don't have a $5 bill and all I have is $2? You gonna cop an attitude with me because I didn't give you $5 instead of $2? That's crazy business to me. I'm sorry. Tipping is tipping. Exactly, Nadine. I'd be nervous too.
Starting from the first day. If you have a special request, ask politely and in advance.
For fuck's sake, if
You're
I see one
telling
more
me
TikTok creator say,
to
oh,
do
this is only
stuff
$6 and then the goddamn shipping is
plain and
$10,
common
I'm gonna
sense.
Wait till you see mistake number 14, where one small slip up with the kids can get you kicked off the ship at the next port. It seems harmless, letting the kids watch movies while you have dinner or go to the bar. But here's the truth that cruise lines don't advertise. This doesn't just break the rules. It could get you kicked off the cruise with no refund. The real danger, kids left alone are the main reason for emergencies in the cabins. 63% of calls to security on cruises are about kids without an adult watching them. Balconies, minibars, and electrical outlets become deadly traps when adults aren't around. What the contract says that nobody reads, children under 12 never allowed alone in the cabin. Teenagers from 13 to 17 only with someone checking on them regularly. Breaking this rule means you could be kicked off at the next port. Safe options. Use the ship's certified babysitting service, which costs between $15 and $20 an hour. Take action. Stick around till...
Whoa, sorry about that. I didn't mean to go that far. I'm sorry. Where's the kids? Can you believe it? There's another thing. Use the pay for the babysitter. They got plenty of
Cruise
stuff
lines
on there
don't
for you to
advertise. This doesn't just break
spend
the
no money
rules.
on.
It could get you kicked off the cruise with no refund. The real danger, kids left alone are the main reason for emergencies in the cabins. Let's become deadly traps when adults aren't around. What the contract says that nobody reads, children under 12 never allowed alone in the cabin. Teenagers from 13 to 17 only with someone checking on them regularly. Breaking this rule means you could be kicked off at the next port. Safe options. Use the ship's certified babysitting service, which costs between $15 and $20 an hour.
Wow.
Take turns with other adults in your group. On family-friendly cruises, use the supervised kids clubs. Did you know the hallway cameras record how long kids are left alone? If it's more than an hour, security will step in right away. But that's nothing. Mistake number 15 is so bad that it's left passengers without passports or money in foreign ports. Can you guess what it is?
Here we go. Here's about that safe. Who was that? Serene, was that you? Was that you that was inquiring about the safe? Do not
That
trust.
safe in your cabin seems like the perfect place for your passport, cash, and jewelry, right? Dangerous mistake. Cruise safes have security flaws that the crew knows about, but they'll never tell you. Here's why they're not safe. 90% use generic passwords like 0000 or 1234 that staff members know. Some can be opened with magnets. Yep, just like in the movies.
Wow.
And they aren't anchored, so a dishonest crew member could take the entire safe. Here's how to protect your valuables. Change the password right away.
Wow, you just told on yourselves, y'all. Your crew members are not all that honest. Don't trust the safes because the crew members will break into them. Wow.
And don't use obvious numbers, like your cabin number. You can bring a portable safe with a physical lock. You can find them on Amazon for about $20. Split your valuables. Keep your passport in the safe and hide your cash somewhere else. Use the main safe at reception for ultra-valuable items. Mistake number 16 is so extreme, it's left passengers unconscious in their cabins due to a common habit almost everyone does. Can you guess what it is? That bottle of tequila you bought at the port seems like a great idea to keep the party going in your room, right? Big mistake. Cruise ships have really tough rules about drinking too much in your room, and what happens if you do is worse than you think. The real danger is 85% of nighttime medical emergencies are because of alcohol poisoning in cabins. If they have to take you to the ship's doctor, you'll pay between $500 and $3,000 in medical bills.
Oh, Jesus.
Drinking alcohol you bought on land is not allowed on most cruise ships. How to avoid problems. If you drink in your cabin, don't overdo it and have someone with you. Never mix alcohol with medicine. Get your drinks right from the ship's bar.
Okay, here's my question. They said that they charge anywhere from what? 200 to 500 or 500 to something. So what if it isn't alcohol related? Do they still charge you for medical bills if you get sick on the boat? I'm just asking. If something tells me that these cruise lines are out to take all the money they can from you, you thinking you getting a good deal getting on a cruise because it's so cheap. Up to $3,000 in medical bills for going to the ship's doctors or medical staff. Lord Jesus. Yeah, we need to find something else to do.
They'll keep an eye on how much you're drinking. Always have water and food nearby. Just wait for mistake number 17. It can make the whole ship lose a day of its trip, all because of you. It might seem like a waste of time. That annoying alarm that wakes you up on the first day and makes you stand on deck with your life jacket. But here's the tough truth that cruise lines try to hide. Passengers who skip the drill are the #1 cause of delays during real emergencies. Here's why it's super important. In 2019, the Carnival Horizon lost 2 valuable hours during a real fire looking for 23 passengers who skipped the drill. People who skip the training won't know where their lifeboats are or how to use the equipment. It's the only activity where 100% of passengers must be present by international law. Here's what happens if you skip it. They'll have to search for you. Security will check cameras and track your cruise card. You could get an immediate fine from $100 to $500, depending on the cruise line. You might even get kicked off the ship at the next port if you refuse to join in. What to do instead? Arrive 10 minutes early to avoid the crowds. Memorize your emergency station. It's written on your cruise card. Pay attention, even if it seems like they're saying the same thing over and over. And one last thing. Final fact. Captains have the authority to add a second drill and lose another cruise day if too many passengers miss the first one. Do you really want to be responsible? Now you know, from the minibar to the safety drill, every mistake can cost you money, security, or even your trip. Tell me in the comments, which one surprised you the most? Subscribe for more secrets cruise lines don't want you to know.
I've seen enough. Yep, we're going to have to come up with a different plan. Fonda wants us to come to Niagara Falls. Yeah, we're going to have to put our heads together and come up with something else because I'm not feeling the cruise ship rules. That did a number on me. So, put a 1 in the chat if you would like to change our meet and greet. Put a 1 in the chat if you don't want to do the cruise ship. Put a 2 in the chat if you still want to do the cruise ship. 1 for no, 2 for yes. Retretta said no twice. She said, I'm going to vote for somebody that don't vote. I'm seeing a lot of 1s. I'm going to have to agree with y'all. I'm going to have to agree. Thank you, Serene. Cereza, I'm in Australia, but I will put in my 3 cents in. No cruise for you lovely ladies and gents. Michelle said no. Rose said no. Fonda, Retretta, Kathy, Nadine. Well, this is a trip for next year, Michelle. So we've got plenty of time. The reason we talked about doing a cruise is because you can pay on a cruise. It's like a cruise on layaway. Exactly, Camille. You guys are so welcome. I'm glad you guys appreciate that video because I was hesitant. Because a lot of people were really excited about talking about the cruise ship trip. But when I saw that last night, I was like, ooh, I don't know. I'm sure there's something else we could come up with. But again, we're going to have to plan it way in advance. So maybe our next live. Oh, you haven't, Michelle? I've only been on one, and it only lasted like 3 days. Fonda, you only you would say that. But I'm telling you the truth. There's more than an ocean. So maybe we should take a look at something else. Yeah, I bet they do. Yes, Retretta. I couldn't imagine making one of those mistakes and you tell me I got to get off the ship. Nah. Well, y'all, we have come to a consensus that it's going to be a no for the cruise. Next time we have a live, well, I'll be going live tomorrow. We can get together and come up with some ideas. You ladies, if you get a chance, get some things going, some wheels turning, and see some alternatives that we might throw into the hat and decide to do. Because there's all kind of possibilities for us to meet and greet. So, with all that said, that'll be y'all's homework. And I'll be looking into some stuff too. But I'm not feeling it now. I, I don't think so. I don't think I can feel that right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with all that said, I think it's time to wrap it up for the night. You know they got it on the ship Jail too, okay? That little raggedy cruise I went on, they had the nerve to have a little casino on there. I was like, oh, they got about, what, 15 machines. All right, y'all. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you for spending the evening with me. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you took something away from this. I'm sure you guys did. And I'll figure out what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Let's see. CRH says night. Wait, good night, all. I've been here since that other guy days from earlier in the year. I'm quiet and don't chat much. Okay, I get it, CRH. It took me a minute to figure it out. I got you, baby. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. God bless you. God keep you. Hi, Diane. Yeah, Diane, we on the same boat right there. Well, pardon the pun. Diane says, hi, Auntie Mickey. Just hot to the cruise part towards the end. I know I don't feel like taking a cruise. I don't think we do either. But I will see you all tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful evening. I love you all. Take it easy. Peace.
Hey, Mickey. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you're on my mind. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, oh, Mickey, you're so fine.
Hit the like button, it don't cost you nothing.